Good evening, ladies and Metro Cops. I hope you're doing well this evening. We've got a pretty interesting stream tonight. Got some new stuff to show off, so I thought it's about high time we have another stream, seeing as it's been like over a month since we had our last one. Because we've been like super busy with all kinds of cool shit that you guys are going to love when we finally release the mod. Just a little overview of what's going to happen. We got a pretty full house tonight. We got quite a few folks with us in the Discord who are going to be joining us for this stream. We're going to see what everyone's been up to. We're going to look at some brand new NPCs that you're going to get very excited about probably. But they are, at the minute, they're very alpha, and there will be a disclaimer coming your way regarding that as well. We're going to look at the new map in Chapter 4, and we're going to play through the whole map, start to end. You're going to see the whole thing, so if you don't want spoilers, you should probably not watch that bit, but it's really cool. Big map. And then we're going to have a look at some new response context stuff. We're going to try and trigger Bad Cop's new response lines, which Blixmon has been working on. And after that, we will have a Q&A. So save all your questions for the end of the stream, because that's when we're going to do questions. Alright? Okay, let's hop into Discord and say hello. Say hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey.
Who have we got here tonight?
I'm 1UpD. I'm the programmer helping with Entropy 02.
I'm Blixabon. I haven't spoken to any of these streams yet. I'm one of the programmers as well.
I'm CW3D. I am the sound designer and voice actor for Entropy 02.
I'm Trivy. I'm the voice of Bad Cop and Lighting Pimp. Lighting Pimp is a new character introducing in Chapter 10.
Man, you guys haven't told me about this character yet. I'm excited. We sort of all write this mod. It's kind of been writing itself, I think, recently. So, Lighting Pimp, that sounds good. I look forward to seeing him.
God damn, Trivy. Weren't supposed to say anything.
Oh, no.
It's good to have Blixabon here, because I don't think... Have you ever spoken on a stream before, Blix? Or is this your first...
No, I haven't. I mentioned that. I haven't had a speaking role yet. I haven't really been needed for anything yet, and I've been nervous since I haven't really been heard on my voice anywhere on YouTube or live streams yet, really. But yeah, it's fine now.
It's all good.
Be gentle, Internet. Be gentle.
You're asking the Internet to be gentle? Oh my god.
I know, it's futile.
So, first things first on the agenda. Happy birthday to Half-Life 2.
Happy birthday,
Yeah.
Half-Life 2.
Girthday. Oh yeah, I should have said that. Fuck. Happy Girthday, Half-Life 2. I've actually got a beer here, so I guess I can sort of raise that. There you go.
I'm
You
gonna
can't
raise this
see me,
empty cup.
but I did raise it. It is... I have elevated the alcoholic beverage. So, yeah. 15 years, man. I remember that like it was yesterday. I don't know about you guys, but 15 years ago, I rolled out of school because I pre-ordered that shit. I think it was the first game I ever pre-ordered as well on Amazon.
Oh, 15 years ago, I was 10, so I don't think I played Half-Life 2 yet.
Oh man, I would have
I was
been...
like,
How old were you, CW?
I was like 4.
You were 4!
Oh, look at the
came out.
young lad over
I was
here.
around that age
Holy
too.
shit! What's that, Blix? How old were you?
Well, let me think. I think I would have been either 3 or 4.
Holy shit! I feel old as fuck.
Yeah.
I would have been 13 or 14, one of those two.
Oh,
Jesus.
you would have been the cool kid down my street that I would be friends with.
Hell yeah!
How-
Nobody in my fucking village knew what a Half-Life was. I lived in the middle of bumfuck nowhere when I was a kid. I was the coolest kid in town. Played video games and shit. Everyone else was old.
You're just pick up that can and nobody knew what you're saying.
Nobody understood what the hell I was going on about. But yeah, man, 15 years. Can't believe it's crazy. And to think that we're still using the engine to build Entropy 02. It's fucking mad. If somebody told me 15 years ago you're going to be making this massive mod with this cool team, I'd be like, man, shut up. Get out of here.
Give me your lunch money.
Do you know what's crazy though? I always have this conversation when I talk about how old Half-Life 2 is. There were people making mods for Half-Life 2 before the game even came out.
Do you mean like the game, like fucking Vampire the Masquerade
Mm-hmm.
and all that shit? They're
Yep.
considered mods, I guess, sort of, kind of, in a really weird sense.
Yeah, and like some of the original Black Mesa source stuff was done pre Half-Life 2 release. Post?
What?
No, pre. Yeah, I never forget it. Half-Life2.net. They were talking about the project there, and they were like modeling APCs and shit, and they were modeling cars and stuff. And this was like back in 2004, I think it would have been.
But they didn't have access to the source
They
engine
didn't
yet.
have
They were
access to
just
the engine.
making assets in
Yep.
advance, thinking, yeah, I'll
Yep.
get this in there somehow.
And it was great because I used to listen to Half-Life Radio back then as well, and there was a guy called Sexy Josh, and he wrote a song all about making mods for the game that hadn't even come out yet.
Amazing.
It's great. Yeah, stories to tell my grandchildren, you know. Anyway, so I thought we could go through what we've all been doing because, like, we've been really busy. We've been doing all sorts of shit, and we haven't streamed in over a month. So,
And we have such little to shoot. No, not really.
we got some concept art. Oh no. We ain't like other mods.
Crude MS
Oh
Paint
man,
drawing.
that was such a burn. That was such a burn on other mods. Anyway, so I don't know, like, how do you want to do this? You want to go down the list and just
I'd go from top down, like, yeah.
from top to bottom and talk about what we've been doing.
One up.
Oh wait, top to bottom. Yeah, I shouldn't have put a 1 in my username. That was a big mistake. However many years ago that was, like, I didn't even know when I
Nice
started
finding you
doing
in
this
the
one
ass.
You're
update.
always gonna be first,
Yeah.
man.
I'm always gonna be first. Yeah. So I've been working on some new NPCs that we're gonna show off on the stream. I've been meaning to get back to the Chapter 2 extension maps. I'd really like to wrap up Chapter 2, but I got a little bit distracted because I sort of did this experiment with a new NPC just to try to see how far could we go with the idea. It was something that had been asked about a lot before, and I didn't really realize like how it would be feasible or what we could use to build it with. But once I sort of had the idea of, well, here's how it could be made, I had to just try it, and I kind of went with it and built a little demo for it. So we'll see. It's entirely experimental, so we don't know if it's going to show up in the game or not, or what capacity
hit
it will
the button,
be.
Brad!
But...
Oh shit! I've got a button for this. Hang on, I got a button. Hang on.
oh, the button.
Let me. Where's the button? Oh fuck! Hang on. Here's the
dude,
button.
don't
There we
you
go.
lost
This is super fucking unsettling.
There you go. I hit the button. I did it.
It has text as well.
It
That's
scrolls.
great.
Do you like the scrolling? It
It's
took me about a
brilliant.
fucking hour to figure out how to get that shit to
Oh,
scroll.
Jesus.
Yeah, so it's unfinished. So what One Update is saying is that the new NPCs and stuff that we have are not finished yet. We don't know if they're going to work yet. We have to build them more and sort of play with them and stuff like
Yep.
that. So
See
anyway,
how they can be used. You know, how are they going to fit in the maps is the real question, because it's really all about the maps. So
yeah, absolutely. I think that's been the way that we've sort of gone about this whole development process. It's kind of like the maps are driving the content. So
absolutely.
although I will say that since we've had these new NPCs, I know it hasn't been long, but I've sort of been in this case, I've been mapping in a way for them to see if we can make them fit. So in this example, I guess the NPCs are driving the content now because it's like I'm making a map to see if they'll fit, you know.
Yeah,
But we'll see.
it's kind of a loop. You know, it's like a positive reinforcement loop.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm sure I've done other stuff other than that, but over the past week or so, that's kind of been on my mind. So that's the only thing that comes to mind.
Yeah, I know.
Um,
I mean, there's all sorts we've been doing. Like, you were helping me out with displacement stuff,
Oh yeah.
so we're doing that. And I think we were looking at a buggy achievement for Entropy 01. That's a good point. Don't let me forget. We'll talk about that later.
So Blixabon, what have you been up to?
Me and Trevi have been working to make Bad Cop a really responsive character who responds to situations realistically and dynamically. For example, if you kill any NPC, Bad Cop will say something like, kiss my ass. But if you kill an antlion, Bad Cop can say, should have crawled back in your hole. Already shown this stuff off, but we could use other criteria too, where we hit the NPC in the head, whether the NPC is on fire, or even whether the NPC was jumping. Allows us to give Bad Cop a really complex dialogue tree.
The possibilities are endless.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
are.
almost
You can have
literally.
a variation where he says a line if he's scratching his left eye whilst the guy's scratching his arse, and if it's his left or his right butt cheek.
Yes,
You know?
It's true though. I mean,
we could do that.
you've made the
That's
system
true.
so flexible.
Yeah, and it's thanks to Valve's respawn system. This system was used on like NPCs like Alex. You know, Alex uses it a lot in the episodes. Don't like citizens.
My-
And it's also used in other Valve games like TF2 and Left 4 Dead for the players.
Oh, I never knew it was used in TF2, but that makes so much sense, you know, now I think
Yeah.
about it. That's awesome.
Thanks, Kelly
Jeez.
Bailey, who probably
Jesus.
programmed that, maybe.
Who would it? Jeff Cayley, you say?
Because Kelly Bailey was in charge of a lot of the sound, and I think he programmed a lot of the sound systems for Source as well. I might be wrong.
Oh, Kelly Bailey. Oh, good old KB.
Yeah,
The guy who's responsible for like half of our remix soundtrack, who doesn't, you know.
Call me, Kelly. Call me.
I think, isn't he sort of the original voice of Bad Cop too?
Was it Kelly Bailey?
If he voice acted
I'm
for
not
the
sure.
Metro Cops. then
Sure,
I'm
yeah.
not sure if
it-
it's him.
Holy fuck, if that's him.
Assumed
That's
that, and
crazy.
there's
So,
If-
Kelly, if you
if
happen to
he's-
be listening in, please contact me. I need to know how you did it.
And give us some like new music
Yeah,
or something, man.
I'm pretty sure he's the one who
Oh,
did it
yeah.
anyway. You could hear his real voice in one of the developer commentary parts in episode 1 whenever he talks about the Zombine track, and it sounds like it's something. It sounds kind of like the Combine Soldier voice if he like spoke really low.
Ooh, I wonder if it was him. That's awesome. Bit of trivia there. I like that. Yeah, I was going to say, Plix, about the response system. I think my favourite thing so far is when sometimes you sort of... I looked at a Combine Soldier and Bad Cop goes, people suck. And the Combine Soldier just goes, affirmative. I thought that was amazing. I mean, that was just amazing. It's just blew me away.
Soldiers like responding
we
and
could-
reacting to the
you could-
environment and conversations is great.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah, just to explain what happened there is that Bad Cop has a concept for whenever he stares at something for long enough, he could say something based on what he's staring at. And to test that out, I made it so that he says like people suck whenever he stares at a Combine Soldier for long enough, and out a system for soldiers and Willie answering Bad Cop's concepts. I made it so they say affirmative in response. We're going to be using that for other things in the future, so that soldiers and Willie could respond to other things that Bad Cop says.
Awesome. That's going to be good, actually. Go on, Trivy, go on.
I'm just saying, just in general, like the head turning stuff that we're putting in, like with them looking at each other, looking at Bad Cop, looking at stuff, moving their heads around and just reacting to what's happening around them makes them seem so much more. I'm going to say human, but they're transhuman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The fact that they're actually, characters, they're people. They're not just, beat boot robots.
I think those enhancements have been great for the mod. I think they're fantastic because you're sort of seeing a side of the Combine that we've not seen before. It's easy to assume as Freeman that they are just robots. I think even I made the mistake of making that sort of analogy. I think early on in development I was calling them robots, but I guess they're not really. They're just sort of super disciplined super soldiers,
Yeah.
Yeah, I have this is hardly related by another thing is that I forgot to mention this. I'm trying to give soldiers similar treatment that I'm giving to Bad Cop and Willie, because they now use the response system as well, and we're trying to stick to the vanilla lines here. We could just splice what we already have, so there's not much we could do, but I made it so that whenever soldiers are in the player's squad, they they report that they use special idle lines where they report to Overwatch the status of bad cop, like as if they're actively monitoring the player because
Oh,
of
that's amazing.
That's
for-
fantastic.
yeah, they're monitoring bad cop because he doesn't he still has his faculties and he's dangerous and stuff. And even though the soldiers are still his subordinates and could easily die and stuff, they're still reporting to Overwatch his status as if he's a controlled experiment.
I love that because that's like the Combine are like undermining him on a really subtle level, and he doesn't even realize because he's
Extremely
too
subtle.
arrogant. He's too arrogant to pick that up. I love that.
Yeah, and players would
So-
have to listen really closely to hear it.
The Combine being on the response system was something that you built for map base, right?
Yeah.
But now it's kind of coming to bear, because in map base, as far as I understand, you can't really tell necessarily that it's on the response system. It's a direct translation to the response. But now you're able to use that to extend it in ways that you wouldn't have been able to if you hadn't done that. If you hadn't moved the Combine to the response system, we wouldn't be able to add in all those new. I mean, you could do things with sentence manipulation, but it would be a little bit
Right.
tedious to build all the new sentences without having the response system and trigger them.
Yeah, what you're saying is right. Using the response system I probably wouldn't have been able to do it to this extent, at least not as easily without the response system. It's just like using the improvements I made for map base, taking advantage of that.
It's super cool, that's for sure. And it's gonna. I think the coolest thing is like no playthrough is the same. Even when we're testing, he's saying different things every time.
Yeah.
He's reacting differently. I'm still finding things that are surprising me in his responses, and the things that he's responding to are still surprising me. I think it's great. It really adds like a. It's almost like you're playing an NPC, and I guess in a way, if we sort of look at it from host body perspective, are we actually the host body, or are we bad cop? It's kind of, it's really interesting. Really,
Or are we
really
dancer?
Or are we dancer? Fuck.
What Trivy say?
Are we dancer?
I was about to say I've been trying to make it so that one thing that I realized a lot later is that I'm trying to make it so that bad cop. I was trying to make for a lot of responses. I was trying to make it so that bad cop could, so a player could possibly sympathize with bad cop. But then I realized it might be a little bit out of line with what you were planning with the host body and stuff. But any big deal. And plus, I also realized that I had just been basically already treating the player and bad cop kind of separately, like I describe things that player does, and then describe things that bad cop does,
Yeah.
depending on the responses. So yeah,
It's interesting.
I think it's more so just bad cop responding to what you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
No. But what we want is the other way around. But yeah, never mind. Forget I said anything.
Yeah, it's very interesting though. I think we've got an interesting paradigm here, where
Yeah.
the protagonist is in a host body. The body does not belong to him, and also obviously we have the player's perspective. We can't really reach out into the world. We can comment on things, but it's interesting when you've got the voice protagonist thing going on, and that he's in a body
Yeah.
that's not his, and there's just so much. It's so incredibly like layered. It's crazy. Like you could argue that you are playing the host body, and you're just watching. Like
Yeah,
in
that-
Entropy 01,
that
how
is a
it
good
was a
point.
mask playback. You're watching through the eyes of the host body. What
Point.
this
It's
guy
like
is
bad
doing.
cop is reacting to what the player does.
Absolutely.
I mean, then again, like what you were saying is that it's the host body is that where I'm willingly witnessing what bad cop is doing. So
Yeah, exactly.
you're right. It's a very interesting.
It depends which way you want to look at it. Like, I guess. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't-
it's like it could be literally just one way or the other.
Absolutely. Yeah. Very interesting. So, lots of response stuff, and also you've done some mapping, haven't you? You've been working on chapter 4 map.
Yeah, I haven't been working on it these past couple of days because I was focusing on a few other projects. But
That's cool. It's cool.
yeah, but like that map, just to give a quick rundown. It's supposed to show when the Borealis anomalies are supposed to start, even though like, we're planning on putting, probably going to put anomalies before that part, but like, that zone is supposed to be the first indication to Bad Cop that this is where the Borealis is. Like, we haven't really been showing much of a Borealis thus far, and this is going to be like a big, like, special zone where there's warnings about time anomalies and stuff, and it's
Yeah.
actually known to the player in Bad Cop and stuff.
It's really interesting.
Implied.
The anomalies that Blix is talking about, you'll see a couple of them tonight. I could show. Actually, no. I can show
Yeah,
one
the
off in
script
chapter
intro
4.
thing that we talked about. We can't show the script
show
intro
that.
one because you remember what that one was about.
Yeah.
It has a spoiler in it.
Absolutely, massive spoiler. Won't show that one off. But the one in chapter 4, map 4, that's just the, I won't spoil it now. I'll save it for when we play it. But they'll see that, and then we can sort of, I can explain what our thought process is behind that. Yeah. Is that everything from you, Blix?
Yeah, I think so. Although we might want to show off some of backup stuff and see one said.
Yeah, we could come back to that after chapter.
Yeah, we
4.
could come back to that after C44.
Cool. So, I guess it's my turn. I've been mapping. I mean,
Yep.
what else will I?
Oh shit! Really? Jesus.
Yeah, I know, right? I know.
Sorry.
I know.
Sorry for taking all that time.
No, it's alright. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. People want to hear
You've
this
been
stuff.
doing
I
your
think people
homework.
are interested in what we're doing.
Yeah.
I've been mapping. I finished the 4th map of chapter 4, and this might be news to you guys. I'm working on the 5th map of chapter 4 now. Now, I remember we said that the caves were going to be in chapter 5, but I was thinking it might make more sense sorry, to start chapter 5 at the second facility rather than in caves and stuff, because there could be dissonance thematically between the two chapters. We're sort of still out in the wild, as it were. So I thought we'll make that another chapter 4 map, and chapter 5 can literally start, and obviously spoilery things in chapter 5, so I won't talk about that, but I think that would work better. So that's what I'm doing. It's called C45A at the minute, because I reworked all of the displacements in that map. So, go on, go for it. Go.
Sorry.
Sorry.
This thought hit me. I see a pattern emerging where it seems like at the end of every chapter there's like a final conclusion battle, and then there's like a cooldown or a transition map after that, because that happens in the first chapter with the sleep sequence. I think that's been on streams before. That happens in the second chapter with the map that I'm working on right now, and now it's happening in the 4th chapter with this map, where kind of like you wrap up the map and then there's a little extra that sort of transition. So it seems, I don't know, it just feels like it's consistent.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I hadn't observed that, but that's such a good point, because it's the same thing at the end, without spoiling anything, at the end of chapter 3. It's exactly the same as well.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah. And then chapter 4 is absolutely the same. That's kind of cool. So it's kind of setting a precedent there. So at the end of each chapter, big fight, and then cool down before next chapter. Interesting.
Yes, very nice.
So I mean, that's essentially all I've been doing, because it takes forever. So I've finished we've alphaed that 4th map of chapter 4, and I'm moving on to chapter 4 map 5 now. So that's me. That's what I've been doing. It's been mental, but there you go. CW, what have you been doing?
Yes, I have been doing some sound stuff. Surprise, surprise. I've been mainly doing I've started digging around in doing soundscapes, like doing new ones. I've been working on chapter 1 soundscapes, like giving them some nice flair. I've been doing some other edits to other pre-existing soundscapes, and they sound a lot better, I reckon.
Oh yeah, I think you've done great work on the soundscapes. They're really good, like really good.
Thank you. And then I've been working on some new bull squid sounds for
Yeah.
death sounds when they die,
jolly.
and just some other general sounds as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it, I reckon.
Pretty cool. It's a bit of a step up, isn't it, CW, from when you were doing like the odd splice for me back like 2 years ago.
Yeah, jeez. There was no way I was making more lines. We were so limited back then.
I know.
You'd literally get to the point where you'd be cutting up the phonemes to try and make more sentences.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm too limited. I have to cut the phonemes and deliberately string
Make
each individual word together.
Database of phonemes. Oh my god.
It was becoming a lot of work back then, but then Trivy came in and saved the freaking day.
Absolutely.
I still have those old spliced up bad cop lines somewhere.
Pretty shit.
Yeah, I've got them too. They're in one of the first Entropy 02 backups, I think, that I've got somewhere.
I think you posted like one of them before. I didn't even know like with the chapter 1 briefing. I didn't even realize that those lines were originally spliced up. It explains a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it was challenging back then because everything I was writing for the maps, like I had to go through all the lines first and then figure out, okay, what I want him to say with these lines, and is CW going to be able to splice it to make him say it and it not sound like crap. So it was really difficult.
It was really difficult. Like sometimes I have an idea on how I get it to work, but then it just didn't want to work.
Yeah.
So then I'd waste my bloody time. But yeah.
Those were the good old days though, man. I always think back fondly of working on Entropy 01. It was good times.
Yeah. Good times.
Good times. So, Trivy, what have you been doing? What have you been up to, Trivy?
Just scratching me nuts, farting around. Yeah, doing voices for Bad Cops some more for the response system and yourself for the levels, and massaging Entropy 0 version 4 a little bit more.
Oh right.
And I just had this thought actually come to me now. I mean, I know that it's not quite there yet because we still have this fucking achievement to sort out that yourself and one of the I think are fiddling with.
Need to look at that. Yeah.
Maybe as a reward for the people waiting so long on this freaking thing, could you showcase the 4.0 release trailer?
Oh, dude, what a great fucking idea! I didn't even think of that. Yes, absolutely, I can.
So yeah, it's obvious this was supposed to be released obviously when 4.0 is pushed out, but because of the delay, I'm thinking maybe because we've been, there's going to be a little bit of delay. We'll just show you it now for our lovely people watching the stream.
Absolutely. What a great fucking idea. Like, holy shit. Let me find it. I've got it in here somewhere. Hang on.
Yeah, while you sort that out. So, yeah, we people in the Discord might be aware that we've been having issues with D-lights in very low light map scaled areas, and it would lag the shit out of your computer, no matter how beastly a machine that you have, whenever you fired your gun or used a stun stick originally, because the stun stick was using a D-light, but wonderfully OneUpD managed to make the stun stick projected texture now, which looks fantastic. But unfortunately the guns still use D-lights. So yeah, what I've done is instead of compromising the visual fidelity of some areas, I've basically just made it turn off D-lights for that area, which hopefully nobody will have an issue with, because to be honest, who gives a fuck about muzzle flash? I'm sure you'd rather be looking at some beautiful shadows on the walls.
Absolutely.
And it's only in very particular areas where I've gone, you know what? I'm going to keep that one scale on the light map because it looks too nice without it. I'm keeping that.
We just have to be careful because like, this is the one section where people could possibly notice them missing because it's so dark.
Yeah, but you know what? I think there's only 2 sections in the whole game that I've turned off the D-lights. And I'm not even going to mention them because maybe people won't even notice. And to be honest, even if they did notice, who cares anyway? It's just muzzle flashes at the end of the day. It's not like, oh my god, my game experience is ruined by the muzzle flashes not being
It would matter a lot more if those were like heavy combat areas, but I think
Yeah.
the area that you picked is more of an ambient sort of setting, so it's not as important for you to light up the environment with your
Exactly.
muzzle flash as it would be in other parts of the game.
And I have optimized it some more in some areas. I've cranked the light map scales up a little bit more, just so to give you some better performance. And yeah, it's from a gameplay standpoint, it's ready. It's just the achievement bug, which is making us tear our hair out because the trigger triggers, because the guy goes no,
Yeah.
and then so we know the trigger triggers, but the achievement's not
By the
firing.
way, bad timing, but could you guys, one of you, send me the VMF at some point? I don't know. You might have already done that, but I wouldn't mind taking a peek at it. Maybe I could shed
sure.
some light.
Truvy's
Yeah.
got the latest version, I think.
Yeah, let me grab it for you.
This is a really weird problem because I've checked the references in the code and they're correct. They wouldn't have changed anyway. I mean, they wouldn't have changed. They're fine, and the VMF is fine. I've checked the code for the achievement entity, which actually sends the string to Steam, and that's how it should be. That hasn't changed. The logic in the map is firing. The logic relay is being fired. We know that because we've got the guy screaming his head off before he gets the grenade up the arse. I just don't
Well,
understand
be
it.
out of sync.
I just cannot understand it, boys. I don't know why it's not working. So, I think One Up was saying something about Achievement Manager, that bit of code, and I think at some point we could do with looking at that. But I don't know. I have my doubts. I don't know why it's not working. I don't know, man.
I mean, at least now the guy's scream actually works, because before the way that the triggers and stuff had been set up is the grenade would never actually touch the trigger that triggers the scream. So that's what I thought, oh shit, that's why the achievement's not firing. I don't know how or why you changed it, but it's like when the grenade explodes, it breaks the invisible barriers around it, right?
Yeah, and that should trigger the event.
No, because there's a trigger on the floor that detects the grenade dropping on it, and that's what triggers the no. But if it gets trapped in the invisible barrier, it never hits the floor.
Do you know what that is?
So,
I can tell you what that is. That trigger on the floor, that was the first iteration of the logic for that map, and I must have left, because the idea was you throw the grenade in, the grenade hits the floor, and it triggers the event. That was my whole plan. But then every now and then that wouldn't work. So I put in the box, but I must have not removed that floor trigger and not considered the outputs from that.
Yeah, so
yeah.
that's why that trigger is now inside the invisible box. When you chuck the grenade inside the invisible box, you hear the no, and then boom.
Kablamo.
And now the no can get cut off as well, so if the grenade explodes before he finishes his no, you have a nice cut off scream there. A perfectly cut scream, if you will.
A perfectly cut scream, oh yeah. I'm subbed. Anyway. Do you want me to show off this trailerino?
Yeah, let's do it.
Alright, right. Now bear with me because I've got to sort of like subjugate OBS to fucking do it. So just hold on. I'm going to mute everything. Here's the easy 1 point. Oh fuck's sake. Easy 4.0 trailer that Trophy put together. Yeah, here we go. Get this shit going. So obviously,
Yeah.
it's not.
Oh,
out
but it's playing
yet.
again.
It started playing again. It's fucking OBS. He just loves your trailers, Trivi. He just wants to play them all the time. So yeah. So obviously, it's not out yet. We're working on it, but that's going to be the trailer that's going to pop when we release it. Trivi did some great work on that trailer, so well done, Trivi. Well done.
Oh, thank you very much. And the chapter 4 preview, I haven't started on it yet. Bad me, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
That'll be coming along at some point. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. I'll start work on it tomorrow if I get inspired. But yes, I am planning on doing a chapter 4 preview for Entropy 02.
That sounds banging. I can't wait to see that. I'm really excited. That'll be good. Good to get that out there. Okay. Is it time for gameplay? Reckon?
Yes, I reckon it is.
I am ready for
To gameplay, yeah.
So we're going to go with the brand new NPCs first. Let me just once again switch to Entropy 02, which should appear in good time. There it is, look at that. Let me turn down. I think last time the game was a bit loud. So I'm going to turn it right down today so that we can all hear each other. Let's turn it
Maybe
down.
change it to headphones instead of 2 speakers.
Are you using the new binaries?
Yep, using the new binaries.
Okay.
And all that.
Have you rebuilt the closed captioning file? It's no big deal if you haven't.
I haven't tonight. I haven't done that this
Oh,
evening.
okay. It just has the subtitles for the new responses, but that's fine. If he uses any of the new ones, we could point it out.
I could do it like right now. It'll take like 2 seconds.
Can't do it while you're in game, right?
I don't know. Probably not. Probably be
You
safer
could
not
do
to.
it. I think last time I did that, I
Did you
think
do
it made it so that gibberish showed up on the captions. So, yeah, you could do that if you want. If we're expecting to see the new responses, and I guess we would be in C1
Yeah,
free.
it would be good to do that. So let's just go. Let's just come out of this
so
for a second.
Yeah, you could just go ahead and do that. So sorry for the delay.
That's all right. No. Let's do this right now. So we're going to grab that caption file from over here. Grab that caption file, and I'm going to drop it into source mods. Maybe I should do like a tutorial. Maybe I should show my screen and do like an actual tutorial. That would be
Point
fun.
out is that that Bad Cop's lines for getting a soldier to leave the squad were missing before. They were recorded like way back, I think, like back when he recorded the original ones. But for some reason, they were missing from the build. And
Oh, really?
I talked to Trivia about it, and I included it with the new responses, so it should be in now, including with the new captions.
Banging.
Yeah, so you'll probably notice that in C4.4 whenever you. Well, never mind. We'll see it later.
Yeah, sure. So I'm going to do the alert thing. Hang on, I got to do this fucking alert thing that we do. Hang on, everybody. Just hang on. Here we go.
This is super fucking unfinished.
Yeah, so like this is like, oh shit, like this is like unfinished, like it's not finished. So so just bear that in mind, like it's all alpha, like none of this is finished. In this next demonstration that I'm about to show off, like we don't even know if these are going to make it to the final cut yet. That's how like unfinished they are. So just bear that in mind.
It's an experiment.
It's just an experiment. I'm going to turn the music down as well just a little bit so we can make sure we can all hear everybody. Turn that up. Okay, yeah, so this is an experiment, and OneUpD has advised me to take this low and slow, so here we go. I hope everybody's ready for some new shit. Should I arm myself, OneUp?
Yeah, you can. You won't be able to kill anything if you don't. So,
Ah.
well, I mean, actually, you will at the end, but
Yeah.
I think Impulse 101 would be good.
Okay. Use the old
I
pistol.
forgot to build cube maps, so you might want to turn specularity off as well.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I didn't forget to build cube map. Oh, yeah, I did.
I could just build the cube maps.
Oh, yeah, that works too.
It's not going to take long, is it? There we go.
No, not very many cube maps.
There we go. Man, I love these kind of maps because they just remind me of the old, like, 2003, 2002 fucking Half-Life Source fucking demonstrations. Anyway, so I'm gonna walk forward, and I'm gonna see one of the new NPCs that we have. I'm just gonna stand here. There they go. Look at them. They're so majestic and beautiful. Do they loop? One up. Do the Boyds loop?
They do. I made them respawn after
Ah.
they sort of complete their path, so they'll loop in the demo map.
That's super cool. So I think Boyds we're contemplating at the minute having them sort of flying around the Arctic, because one of the things that we want to
I
highlight.
had an idea to have them fly out of the whenever Backup enters that cave,
Oh
they
yeah,
could just stay out like right in front of him and scare him.
that's a good idea. Spook him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
yeah.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, I
So
mean,
the
I wonder what his reaction would be like. Would he know what they are? You would probably see that. You would probably know that they're not like bats or whatever.
yeah,
I
I don't
think
know.
people are probably generally aware of Zen creatures in Half-Life 2.
Yeah,
know
I mean,
it's
he
kind
is
of
aware of Zen in general.
right. So it's kind of an open question, like how common are these different life forms? Do many people see Boyds? We didn't really see any Boyds in Half-Life 1. I think they're probably pretty rare, but I don't think you'd be like totally shocked to see them either. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
curious.
I don't know.
Maybe you could just say those weren't bats. This place probably has a lot of places is like a zoo or something. I don't know, something like that. Especially since we're putting so many Zen creatures in VR.
So the model for the Boyd is the one from Half-Life Source, and there's actually two different variations of the Boyd. This was the one that was used in Blue Shift. I picked it only because the animations looked better in Source with what I was trying to use it for. There's a lot of room for improvement here.
They're
I
really
just
nice,
wanted
though.
to use a model that we had available.
Can we kill Boyds? One up.
Yep, you can.
Ooh.
I mean, if you couldn't kill them, then they might as well just be like a map thing. You could use a prop. But they're NPCs.
Wow.
Like you can kill them.
I see an
You can startle them. They're on the ground.
I can see an achievement. Basically, let me backstep for a second here. The whole point is we're up in the Arctic, and one of the things that we want to highlight is that we know in Half-Life 2, we know about the portal storms. All of that lore suggests that Earth is teeming with Zen wildlife outside of Combine urban centers. So that's what we want to investigate that. So we've got things like Boyds. We've looked at ball squids who are going to be native to. Sorry, it's my wife's Tamagotchi. We've looked at ball squids that are going to be like native to those Arctic regions and stuff like that. So the whole point is we're sort of going to breathe a bit of life into those environments. So I would imagine Boyds flying around in the Arctic, and like Blake said, flying out of caves as we enter them and stuff like that, to sort of show that it's not like a dead world exactly, just more like the sort of Zen creatures have moved in. That's my thinking. I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, totally.
They're really nice. I like
It'll
killing
be
them.
interesting to see Boyd's interacting with other NPCs as well, because they are NPCs. Like full squids will try to eat them, for example. Other things we'll see will try to eat them as well. So it feels like a living environment. It's not just they're doing their own thing before you get there.
Absolutely. Do we want to talk about these chunky things that are flying everywhere?
Yeah, the model is the antlion grub nugget model. That's just sort of a placeholder that was from episode 2. But those are gibs. Classic gold source style gibs are back. Bull squids can eat them, and they're fun. They're fun to play around with.
You might have seen on Twitter, I put yesterday a post, me and 1UpD were talking. But yeah, gibs can now be food for NPCs in Entropy 02, so bull squids will eat gibs. So you could, technically you could feed
Imagine if bull squids ate. Imagine if bull squids ate the actual antlion grub nuggets, like
I think we should have that. I haven't done that yet, but that would be amazing.
Yeah, squids are still afraid of antlions, and we don't have any grubs anywhere in. We do in Chapter 1, but not in places where bull squids would be.
Yeah.
So far, so we probably won't see a vets Yeah, I just
I
thought of
have
that.
noticed just playing around that bull squids are pretty effective at killing antlions, even though they're afraid of antlions, because they can still use their ranged attack when they're cornered. So they
Yeah.
tend to just kind of like
You
lie in
know
waiting for the
the thing
antlions.
with bull squids being afraid of antlions, that was just a quirk I thought of. We could
Yeah.
we could just make them hate each other again.
No, you should try it out in a map sometime. I think it actually works pretty well the way it is set up now. Because the bull squids will kind of run away, but then they'll sort of set an ambush and spit at the antlions. It's pretty cool.
I see. So it's like they think more tactically. I
We
see.
should do that in this map after the demonstration is done. Actually, that might be fun.
Just spawning a bull squid and some antlions.
Yeah, an antlion. But you should probably show the next thing first.
Yep, so we're going to show the next thing now. So this is Boyd's. That's figure A or whatever. I don't know. Right, here we go. Now this one, people are going to lose their fucking minds about this, because I did when I heard. Does anyone recognize those things? Those are Stuka bats. Oh, shit, what's he doing? Oh, they're going to swoop me now. Am I okay to kill these one up? Oh, shit.
Yeah, of course. You don't need to ask
Oh my-
permission.
Holy shit. It fucking destroyed me. And now they're eating me. Look at that. Holy shit, they're eating me. That's amazing.
Oh my god, they're eating him. And then they're going to eat me.
They're gonna eat me.
My God.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
wa-
so now
Wow.
bull squids and stuka bats and other predators can eat the player, as well as gibs. They can eat a lot of things. I guess
That's
that's
cool.
kind of the theme at this
I
point.
didn't know that they could eat the player. That is so cool.
Yeah, that was something I just added alongside these guys.
I love them. I think they're so cute. These were like my favorite cut enemy from Half-Life 1.
Oh, I just realized I made a mistake. I updated the particles after I sent you the particle, so there's a little bit of an issue. Everything bleeds red right now.
right, I see,
I fixed
yeah.
that already, but I didn't send you. So they are supposed to bleed green, and then other things bleed red. But it looks like everything is kind of bleeding the same color right now. Sorry
Right.
about that.
It's alright. I thought they were bleeding red because they are kind of red, but it doesn't. It doesn't
Yeah,
bother me.
maybe we need to give them like reddish.
It
or
would be
purple
interesting.
stripes.
It would be interesting for an alien to finally just bleed red blood.
Yeah, that's true.
I think of it almost like looking at the gold source code or the code that's left over from gold source and source. It's almost like they tried to split up things from Earth as being red-blooded and things from Zen as being green-blooded.
Yeah.
Like they refer to them as like alien gibs and human gibs and alien blood and human blood.
They were
So
classifying
I
them.
tend to stick to that. Except for now we have blue blood as well for the chapter 3 stuff.
Oh yeah, we do. Yeah, of course, because of the globies or whatever we want to call them. So up this next round.
I'm still really impressed. I'm still really impressed by the fact that we managed to get them a new blood color. I didn't know it was that easy.
Oh yeah, I was surprised too. I just gave it a try, and it works surprisingly well. I've also found that the particle editor is very helpful. I've been putting in lots of particles that are kind of just placeholders, and we can spend more time fine tuning them. But it's surprisingly easy to prototype a particle with the editor. Like I did a red blood effect that unfortunately contaminated the other explosion effects that you saw. But that's why that looks that way. I was creating a new particle explosion effect for red blood.
It's pretty cool. So up this next ramp one up, there's a button. What does that button do? Because I tried to press it earlier and I couldn't press the button.
The stream is a little bit behind
Sure.
our voices, so I'm not sure.
I've just
Oh, the button on the left respawns the NPCs after the
okay.
demonstration is done. So
Okay.
it's disabled right now. If you press the button on the right, something else will happen.
Oh yeah. This one's cool. So let's demonstrate this. So I'm gonna hit this button right now. Bang! Just look at that. Boom! He's gibbed. Fantastic. I like how the gibs leave decals as well. That's really that's classic. That is classic. I love it.
And
So the
know that you
decals-
worked on the human Gibbs already. One up. I didn't
Yep.
realize you already worked on that.
It didn't
That's
take as
amazing.
long as I
Good
thought it
job.
would. But there's a reason why I did it too. The decals aren't only just there for looks. Those are actually where the gibs emit a smell from that will attract NPCs.
I'm sorry, but that guy has 2 skulls.
He does have 2 skulls.
He does. I worked
Why didn't
on
they
that.
keep
I
it
don't
on?
know why it spawned 2 skulls. I'll figure that out. But
I love how the Stuka
it's
bats
supposed to
just
be only
came
one skull.
The Stuka bats just came over here and just had a meal. That's so cool.
Yep. So they were hanging peacefully on the ceiling, but when you jibbed that guy, the jibs emitted a smell that smelled like food to the Stukabats. So the Stukabats then fell down from their perches and they came and they ate the jibs.
Has science gone too far?
I think science might have gone too
Just
far in this
after
It's
they
process.
fall off of them.
amazing. It's just amazing. I love it. It's great.
I'm
Okay.
really excited to see all the interactions that are going to happen between these different creatures because we've already shown the behaviors of the bull squid, and now with these creatures, they're similar to bull squids but slightly different. So just having a world where these creatures are interacting with each other and they're just going about their business, they're hunting prey, they're eating, you know, it's going to be really interesting, and it's a good contrast with the rebels who have a they're human, they have a motivation, they're trying to find something, but the aliens are a little bit different. They're more like uh they're not human.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I get it totally because it's going to be different gameplay every time because you're going to have like infighting, I would imagine, happening just on the fly as
Mhm.
things are going on in the map. I'm just going to make some antlions and see what happens. Oh shit, he's running away. Oh shit, he just ended him. Oh my god. We need like an NPC arena. Oh my god, he's just... Oh, holy shit. They just got completely owned. And
I
now he's
really
got...
need to add a smell to the antlion jibs so that bull squids can also eat antlions. Right now, I don't think they're able to.
That's really interesting though because he just ate... I guess he ate me because that's where I died. But
Yeah,
that's
that's the spot where
crazy.
you died. I'm not really able to accurately predict where the camera is going to land
I
yet.
don't know. I don't know how
I
you
might
would
have to
do
take a
that.
look at that.
Unless are we gonna
Wait a minute. You mean
are we
you mean like you, are
go
you
for it?
sure you can't just check like make it so that you could check for whenever the camera comes to a standstill and then create the sound?
Yeah, that's really what I've got to do, and that's how it works with the jibs. That will be a little bit complicated, but yeah, I think you're right. That's the correct solution there.
Um, are we gonna pursue this thing about having the player camera attached to a ragdoll when we
I don't
die?
know.
Too
What are your
sickening.
thoughts
Although I
on
did
that?
think I did have this one idea where like instead of the camera following a ragdoll is created behind the camera. So like whenever you die, your camera falls or goes as normal. And then there's also a ragdoll that gets thrown about. And even though the camera is not attached to that ragdoll, you could see what ends up happening to your.
Oh, I
That
really
might
like
seem a
that
little bit.
idea.
That's an interesting
Yeah, it
idea.
might
Um,
seem.
sorry.
Kind of like weird how your eyes are now separated from your body, but just think of it as the host body's soul being separated from Bad Cop or something, or a brain fell.
At the beginning of the stream, we talked about how Bad Cop is basically an NPC and how that sort of sets Entropy Zero 2 apart. So I think there's a precedent for the player ragdoll being separated from the camera. Normally, I think that would be inappropriate for a Half-Life mod because typically the protagonist is like, an extension of the player, a proxy. But in Entropy Zero, it's a little bit different. So maybe that would
Absolutely.
be good. Also talked about decapitation for Bad Cop. Like
Oh
if you get
wow.
hit by slash damage, what if we had just like a headless ragdoll that spawns? That could be
I
fun.
think that was mostly a joke.
Either way being good. The easiest thing to do would be actually what Booksabound said, spawning a ragdoll that's completely separate from the player camera.
Yeah, that I think we should try it because that would be really interesting.
Imagine shot in the face with a shotgun, and then like then you could hear and then you could just see like Bad Cop's ragdoll just flying into a wall or something.
Yeah, it'd be great. It'd be a really interesting perspective.
I need to step away for a few minutes. Let me know. I'll be back.
You know what? I need to turn my heater off because I'm gonna die. So just bear with me.
I was just thinking the same thing. I don't know why.
Unless
I'm gonna
unless
get up as
like
well.
yeah, unless the Earth is heating up or something. Hang on. Oh, turn this shit off. Yeah, holy shit! I was getting hot. Like, oh my god. Before we move on, I guess let's just see these Stukabats having dinner one more time. Can you smell it? Oh my god, look at them go. Oh no, don't tell me they're stuck. Timmy, I'm gonna have to kill you. That's it, come on, come on. That's it. Here we go.
These are my babies.
he was just playing an animation because he was excited for food.
Did he seriously? I missed that.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
did.
that's
Oh
why
my
he was
God.
standing still.
I want one.
He could smell all the food.
Can we keep them? I want to keep them.
I hope so.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of my hesitation about them is that their flight mechanics aren't as developed as the other flying creatures. I found that flight is just really hard to get my head around. It's like it doesn't there's not really a standard way of doing flying. It's like the way crows do flying and the way scanners do flying and other flying NPCs are very different. And I didn't
Yeah.
really have a good template to go from. So the Stukabat's flying mechanics at their present in their present incarnation are very simplistic. They can only fly point to point. They can fly at you, but otherwise they prefer to crawl around on the ground. And I think it kind of works. It
I
doesn't
think
make a lot of sense,
no.
but it's
I think it
functional.
works. I think it works. Um,
I'm
It
back.
just
I
works.
like the way they dive bomb. You sort of it's kind of like a gameplay element. You get a chance to prepare for the dive bomb. Look at that. Look at him go. I kind of wish they ragdolled, but would that require model work?
Yeah. Part of the reason they don't ragdoll, so it would require a little bit of work to set up the ragdoll from the mesh. I think we could do that with the tool. I almost would prefer not because they're supposed to
Are the models in
explode.
Half-Life Source?
Oh no, you're absolutely right. They are
Um,
supposed to
no,
explode.
it is in Half-Life Source, but it didn't come with a ragdoll, which is interesting. But the bigger issue is they do damage to you when they explode, so I think that's important.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right.
We could
That was what was the. I think that was the original design of the actual creature as well, wasn't it? Like they blow up when they hit you.
I believe so. I think that's what they do in Sven co-op. I'm not
Yeah.
really sure how they were originally supposed to be.
They do that in a point of view mod as well.
Yeah, that's
Oh
it.
yeah,
POV. That was
point
such a
of view
great
is
mod.
good.
Loved that mod. Yeah. Well, I think they're great, and I hope we can, you know, I hope we can keep them. I don't know if you
me
noticed,
too.
I was having a fight a minute ago with antlions and bull squids and Stukabats, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
because there was so much going
That's
on.
the kind of thing I'm just so excited to see.
I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna do it again.
So
Let's just,
there's another possible NPC, sort of
there
like
is.
waiting, it's sort of on deck, I guess you'd say, but it would depend on the assets.
Yeah.
So I don't want to talk about that yet because we can't promise anything. But there's a related NPC that would also go in the same sort of cave environment that could be really fun. I'm hoping we can get something worked out for it because the code is already functional. They're actually quite simple. But just adding a little bit more variety in. They're functionally similar to bull squids, but just slightly different.
Yeah, I really hope we can. I know what you're talking about. I hope we can because I think it'd be amazing. I think it'd be really cool. I'm going to turn up the volume so everyone can hear the lovely new sounds that we've got, and I'm going to watch these aliens fight before we head into chapter
One thing I want to mention before you unpause is I did make a
You
map
want to
with
turn on Node Talker?
aliens fighting, but that map unfortunately can't be shown because it has a spoiler in it. So sometime I should make like a non-spoiler version of that to use.
That would be cool. Yeah, because it would be nice to show it off. Yeah. Let's go for it. Here we go. Look at them go! Oh shit! No, Timmy! Leave me alone.
You just turn on no target.
Oh, I should have turned on my target, shouldn't I? Although it kind of gives me an accurate representation of what it's going to be like in the maps.
I guess so, yeah.
It's interesting to see how they prefer each other. And look, he's restoring his health by eating the gibbs. Oh, is that yummy? Oh, fucking hell, don't get close to these bastards. They're really fucking crazy. Oh, man. Old Yeller. I think I'm going to have to call one Old Yeller now. I have to take him out back and put him down. Okay. Anything else before we move on to the Chapter 4 preview?
No, I think that covers the new NPC playground. Yeah, I'm really excited to see how these are gonna look in the Arctic environment. I've only really seen them in like blue and orange and gray
Yeah.
cubes so far, so
I think
it's gonna be a lot of fun.
super interesting seeing them in those caves that I was putting together. It's annoying. I would go in there right now and spawn the NPCs, but I've stripped all the light out of that map at the minute because of
Oh
issues.
no.
It's just I was just using basic lighting, but I've stripped it all out, so it'd be pitch black, so you wouldn't be able to see anything.
That's
So
okay. You probably haven't added nodes to it yet, anyways, and
actually,
of
no, I
course they need
haven't.
lots of nodes to
Yeah.
work properly.
I haven't done any of that work yet. So
Oh,
yeah.
one interesting thing to add is that the Stukabat, since they only use ground navigation, you don't need to add air nodes for them to work necessarily.
Oh wow, that's cool.
So that's helpful. Saves a little bit of time. They won't be like it would be good if they could use air navigation, but right now they can't, so it won't help you at all if you do add lots of air nodes.
Imagine if they used both at the same time.
Oh yeah, kind of like manhacks do that, right? I haven't looked too closely,
Ooh.
but
Do they?
I think so. I'm not 100% sure. I know there's
That
a
would
flag
actually
on
make
them for
sense because they have specifically dedicated to using
yeah.
air nodes. And I thought that was
That's interesting. Oh man. Right. Okay. Are we ready for the chapter 4 preview? Are we ready? I should say. I'm ready. Here we go.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna like mute everything so we can just like stream the gameplay.
Makes sense.
Right.
we could
Go for it.
we could there are a few things that we could show up in that.
Good point.
Forget about it.
Hello.
Hello, Krello.
Oh,
Oh,
hello,
my
Kralik.
Hi.
What's going on? Did I miss something?
We're streaming at the minute.
It's,
We're live!
We're
streaming.
alive.
Oh,
You just missed the Stukabat demonstration.
oh, cool. Right. Cool.
They're really nice.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. It's cool.
We're just about to
Yeah.
do a demo of the new chapter 4 stuff.
Oh, cool. Are we going through with Stukavats then?
I think we're gonna try. They seem to be interesting.
And it's been going well. We just showed it off. It's still a big, giant, like we're still really experimenting with it. Like so far, it seems to be pretty well built. But but like we've been saying, and one up has been stressing, it's very heavy development, and there's an alarm thing for
I
saying
don't know.
that
Do
this
we
is
need to hit the
still
alarm again?
in
Do you think? I don't
progress.
Should I hit
fair
the
enough.
alarm thing
know.
again?
I don't know. Maybe.
Right, I've got to do some manipulation here. I'm hitting the alarm. Here we go.
This is super fucking unsettling.
Well,
There you go. I hit the alarm. There was an alarm. You can't hear it because you're like a different entire building. But yes, there was an alarm to indicate that this is like unfinished stuff. So.
oh, yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. I just thought. Sorry, I didn't know you were live. I won't take up too much. I was just gonna say, I'm probably calling in sick for university on Monday because I'm like practically dead, and I still have another day of work to do tomorrow in the freezer. So I'm gonna be slightly more dead.
Oh man, that's not
So
good.
Monday is when I'm gonna try and actually get to the jumpers,
Oh, that's gonna be awesome.
and that's all I'm gonna say because I don't have a very good handle on what is and isn't public, and I don't want to repeat it the last time.
Oh, that's
So
cool. That's cool, man.
so
I
I'm just
mean-
gonna say I'm gonna have a look at those, and one up has talked to me about the cool ideas that you had planned for that. So I'll see what comes to mind, and I'll keep you posted. Per usual.
The reason is not so awesome that you have that time, but and I'm really sorry that you're sick, but
Yeah, I hope
I'm
you get
looking
better,
forward to
man.
seeing what you can make.
Yeah, it's gonna be good fun. Cool. And when the Stukas are maybe not so experimental, I'm happy to do some sprucing up there.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be
Yeah,
banging.
yeah. It's
I like the
just-
sound of that.
Yeah.
Wicked.
I'm
man.
already feeling a lot more confident about them than I was like yesterday. They've gone through so much rapid improvement. I think it's really just Yeah, it's not something that I want to promise is how I
Mm.
would phrase it. Like it's not a commitment. It's like they might not make the cut, but it is looking quite promising, especially with what we've shown off today.
They are so goddamn cute. Am I the only one that thinks this? Like, am I? I love them.
So should I go in the cute direction
Oh
then?
god.
When
make
I
it,
when I
make the
make them, I
players feel bad every time they
give
fucking
them just give
buckshot one of
them
them.
just give
Make
them
them bright pink.
big big anime eyes is
What
what
the
I'm
we're talking about the
Yes.
Stuga bats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're just gonna be like, oh, pounces on you,
That's not
eats your
so.
face.
Honestly,
Notices your Gibbs.
that would actually.
Oh my fucking god.
I think that would encourage most players to put a bullet in
It
them.
probably would, yeah.
To be honest, rather than encourage them not to.
I mean, like,
So-
I was thinking, like, you see, like, a mother feeding her chicks, and Babcock comes along and just leaves a grenade in the nest. He sort of just lays the grenade in the nest.
Oh no!
Because that's what
Oh,
Babcock's like. Oh my
no.
god.
I still haven't quite figured out how the Stuka bats would reproduce. Like, are they gonna lay eggs? I mean, they're called bats, but they're not like terrestrial bats. So I don't know if are they mammals? Are they birds? What are they?
I don't
What
know
do they
what the
do?
hell they are, man. It's some sort of alien bastards. I mean,
Yeah, sounds like a whole other conversation.
yeah, how would they reproduce? It's the kind of conversations that we're having at the minute about the whole fauna thing. Like, talking about fucking bull squids, are they going to have live births, or are they going to, like, shoot eggs out of their asses that will, like, explode, and then a baby
Like,
bull squid will spawn?
They'll be like weird Yoshis from Mario.
Yes! Oh my
They eat
god!
something, and then
Oh
a little
my
egg,
God.
a little egg just floats behind them, but like on like a Zen umbilical cord, so it just kind of gets
Oh,
dragged along,
gross.
and like it leaves loads of like slime behind it. And,
Oh. Oh
Okay.
my god.
That's
Actually,
disgusting.
when
Imagine
I was
imagine-
working on the Vulcan reproduction, my original idea was that they were going to use a ranged attack, and then where they targeted, that's where it would spawn the offspring. I thought that made sense, kind of. It's like reusing their existing behaviors, but I found it was easier to just spawn one next to them. That's why they have live birth right now. I don't know if that's the best thing for the creature or not. I don't know. It's just like a whole.
Sounds painful.
Best thing for the creature is it healthy for them?
Well, yeah, it's like, well, the thing is, if they can spawn baby bull squids right next to them, then those baby squids can attack you. It's like a
Yeah, yeah.
diversion. They can just sort of throw their babies at you and then run away. This sounds horrible. This conversation became completely awful.
They could throw their
When you-
babies at
Yes,
you.
it did.
if we do code in babies, I really hope you forget to make it so that bull squids don't eat them. When you first
no, the
do them.
babies are in the
Is that-
game.
They are in the game.
Yeah,
Oh.
they're
Yeah, they're not enabled in any maps. You have to set a flag on them and hammer, but it's all functional.
Oh,
You can see it in the video that I published recently.
Are they just smaller bull squids right now?
Yep. Yeah, we could give them a separate model, but what I did in the meantime is just I scaled the model down so they're 50% bull squids.
That's probably what I do. I'd probably do that and make the eyes bigger.
Oh,
Oh my
no.
god.
Because like
They're
like
so
a like a
cute.
Beady
like
eyes.
a like a bull squid kitten, right? Is what
Oh,
I'm thinking of.
this
Like,
is gonna be terrible.
stop.
I feel so
like a
bad.
bull squid kitten.
Are we
right?
gonna make
And
them
then-
cry after we've executed the mother?
Yeah.
Oh
and
my
Jesus
god!
Christ.
Christ.
Like watchdogs.
Oh no.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh my god. You know what? Like, it's really interesting though, because maybe that's such an alien defense mechanism. Like, I'm in trouble, so I'm going to give birth to something that will attack my foe. Like, but maybe that's their strategy, you know?
Well, it's kind of
Tactical
inspired by
Tactical birth.
Catholic. The Gonarch would spawn head crabs as a defensive measure. So it's kind of
That's
similar
true.
to that.
That's such a good point. Tactical birthing.
But the thing is, if
go
we
nuts.
have
No, it's-
we could make the squids lay eggs though if other NPCs take over that idea of having defensive offspring, you know, because now we have multiple predator NPCs that have similar behaviors, and so we could shift abilities around wherever appropriate.
Because they could.
That's
like,
why I think we really need like the cave map with the different predator NPCs in it to see like how does that actually affect the player's experience and stuff.
Absolutely.
Because I am serious when I mean like it's a gameplay consideration as much as it is a lore consider. As funny
Oh,
as it
yeah.
is,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It's a good meme, but it's like it's for real though.
I guess we could go the other direction and make baby bull squids like Flood from Halo. You know the Flood eggs.
Oh no.
Which
Oh.
But you
and
don't
then
say
loads
that.
of Flood come out. You could have bull squid eggs instead of just stating one bull squid kitten. They gestate like 10, and they're really small.
Actually,
And then
I
they
would
can all
say
come
you-
spiraling out at you,
we
and they can
should
just like try to eat your yeah.
we should give
At
that
first-
ability to the other NPC that I alluded to existing that
Yeah.
doesn't exist right
Yeah,
now, because
that's
it makes more sense for them. Bull squids are supposed to be more solitary. You know, they're sort of, you would see only one or two of them
Oh,
at
are
a
we are
time.
we talking
but-
the one from that did the alternative to the Stukabat?
Yes.
At
Now
first-
I'm talking about doing both the Stukabats and the alternative that we spoke about.
Oh,
just,
okay.
Never,
Sorry,
I guess that makes more sense.
I've,
Can't talk
Never-
about much more without spoiling it though.
I've had an idea just now for bull squids. If we were going to go with the egg laying method of
The egg laying method.
yeah, why not have them run off to a node and lay an egg when they're threatened? Because if you walk into a room full of bull squids, have like 2 or 3 of them naff off and go and lay an egg and then come back. That's
Yeah,
like extra
they
enemies
already
that are going to spawn.
Sort of.
You just walk in and they go, oh shit.
Well,
it's
so
like out
they
of
already
fear.
have a behavior kind of like that because only 2 of them will attack you at a time, and
When-
the third
Okay.
one is capable of going for food if it's below full health.
See, my thinking
So
here is
basically,
my thinking is like, okay, you've got like 3 threats. One of them's run off. You deal with the 2. Then the third one
Yep.
comes back. You deal with that, and you forget about it. You turn around the corner, and then there's bull squid babies. Oh my god!
yeah,
And that'd
perfect.
be like,
And that what you described is already sort of like functional in the game. Like they will run off and then they can spawn during that time. They just don't lay eggs presently.
that's cool. Because I was just thinking, if you wanted to do it that way, because the one problem I see with them having a live birth is we're just going to kill the baby and then we're going to kill the bull squid. Like,
Yeah, they don't have a lot of HP and the weapons do a lot of damage. So yeah, that's a good point. That it's not a
yeah.
very good distraction.
Another
we can
thing to
just
keep in mind is
load
that
them
the
up.
other NPCs do the same thing too. But what I was gonna
What,
say,
rebels lay eggs?
no.
I know I've been out of the loop for a while, guys. but
What I was gonna
didn't
say,
think- I didn't think
I was gonna
that
say
out of the
before,
loop.
but I've been trying to say all this time. I just want to say what I've been trying to say all this time, and keep having to interrupt everyone for is that whenever Krellick said that the bull squids, whenever they lay it, whenever the eggs should be like a flood. At first, I thought he said whenever that maybe the bull squid babies should float.
I was also thinking that the eggs could be. I was also thinking that the eggs could be buoyant, like a beach ball, so they could want to lay them. They could want to prioritize laying them in like a little pool of water. But then,
Imagine if you took an egg with
Actually,
you, and
oh my god!
imagine if you took an egg with you and raised a bull squid as your own.
that would be good.
I
Fun.
have a suggestion about the buoyant eggs. Stuka bats actually are really good underwater, I've found, because if one of them falls in the water, you can't see it, but it's still there, and it'll fly up out of the water to get you.
Oh,
Actually,
nice.
if you unpause the game,
Let's
if you
try
like
it.
spawn a Stuka bat over in that pool of water, it'll jump out of the water to get you.
We're doing it. Let's do this. I want to get Spookabat. Spookabat, I'll call it. Here we go.
It might ignore you and focus on the voids instead.
Yeah, Spookabat. We'll soon find out. I'll put a couple
It's
in
the
there.
new Amazon series, The Voids.
The voids.
Oh, fucking hell, Jesus Christ, it scared the crap out of me. Okay, I see what you mean. Fucking Jesus! Holy
Holy
crap!
shit!
Oh my god.
I just watched the video.
I want the first Stukabat we find in game to do that because it will just make players shit their pants. Oh my god.
We definitely need to use that in the game somewhere because it's almost like it harkens back to the first time a zombie jumps out of like the slime in Half-Life 2. That really
Yeah.
startled me.
I actually
of a similar-
posted on Reddit about that the other day. Fucking hell, that killed me. Yeah, absolutely. That's cool. I like that. So, are we suggesting that Stukabats could almost be like semi-aquatic? I don't know.
Remember, You remember
They
the
could.
stream was going to be about showing off C44?
Oh, it's all good. I got plenty of time tonight.
Stuka bat eggs, possibly.
Yeah.
Stick
That's
with
what I was
eggs.
wondering earlier. I was like, well, would they lay eggs? Like they're called bats, but they're not really necessarily terrestrial bats. They might be kind of like a bird. They might lay eggs.
Yeah, I mean, I would see them more as a bird. I mean,
Then you'd have like a little nest of Stuka chicks, and
that's
they
yeah,
like,
absolutely, like little
and the
stupid
Stuka bats come along and they eat a bit of like a rebel and they throw it up back into their Stuka chicks, and then the Stuka chicks just kind of sit there, and then Bagcop drops a grenade in the thing.
in the
and
in the
that's-
nest. Yeah.
Right in the nest, and all the Stuka just go, and then there's
The funny thing is, right, about all this is that there's a line that Willie says before a part that we can't talk about, where he says that he loves animals, and Badcop's all like, "Oh, I love animals. That's why I like to kill them," or something. It's an old Monty Python joke. But I can see Willie like commenting on the fact that Badcop is just like mercilessly killing all of this wildlife.
So you don't have any problem doing this, do you? What if this was your children? What if these were your kids?
He doesn't have any problem doing it. Like, any problem. He was born for this shit.
Man, if he drops Zen grenades in there, he's just sending them back to where they came from.
Yeah, that's true. It's kind of like an exchange program, because you get something in return.
There you go.
Right, I gotta show off C44 now.
I'm
Ew,
gonna go get my shitty cold pizza. So you guys enjoy. It's not an ooh, trust me. It's like a fucking Asda value rain pizza. It's like the fucking like £1 pizza, mate. It's not an ooh. It's like I'm like a human being. I've got to eat, but you know, it's like
As the fuck.
it's maybe 1 or 2 steps above dumpster diving. I'll be honest. So I'm just gonna go get my shitty pizza and my shitty chips. And I'm just gonna leave you guys to it and die on my bed and eat some pizza
I hope you feel
Alright,
better
fair
soon,
enough.
man.
and try not to think about work tomorrow. That's fine. Cool. I'll let you know how the jumpers go on Monday.
That sounds good.
I can't wait to see them.
Yeah,
Good
that's gonna be great. That'll be great. Okay.
Alright.
Thank you so much for doing that, by the way.
Yes.
I'm really excited to see.
No problem. Bye bye.
Goodbye.
Feel better.
Okay, I'm gonna mute like everything, and I'm just gonna dive in to this map, and then I'll talk. We'll come back and we'll talk about it. Hopefully, I don't die because I put in that back door. I don't know if you've seen the back door yet, and
Yes.
I
I
can't.
think I have.
I can't just hide now from the rebels. I have to actually engage them. So anyway, here we go. I'm gonna do this shit.
Wait a minute, you want to spawn the APC without...
Yeah.
want to spawn the APC and it's not on the map?
Yeah, it's a really good point. I need to be able to spawn the APC.
If you could spawn the APC without the map, I added a command for that. Enter ch_spawn drivable APC or something.
Okay.
It's similar to how you spawn an airboat or a jeep. I added that command like a month ago or something.
The issue that I've got is because I stitched the maps. Obviously, I'm starting like way out. Sorry. So it was what was it? Sorry, what was the ch create?
It's ch_drivable APC or something.
There we
It should be in the
go.
auto.
I got it right. Thank you very much for that. That's a good command. It's very fitting for Entropy 02. Right, I'm gonna mute everything now and get on with it.
Alright.
Here we go. We're going in.
God damn it. And you just tried. What do we have here? Whoa, fancy place. I could take a boat off for an hour or so. Rebels must be using this place. I bet they'll be back soon. 3650 to dispatch. Request reinforcements. Mark my grid. Hey, fellas, let's set up an attack before the three bears get back. Know what I'm saying? What I gotta do to get some good company around here. Overwatch reports possible hostiles inbound. Represent safe prep for contact. There we go. And here they come. Something of a storm. Into the pantry. Get off my lawn, goddamn kids! Damn it! How many goddamn rebels are there out here? Head down here. I've been full canister barrage in my position. Send it. I'm gonna renovate this place. Oh crap. Here it comes. Holy crap. Did I just piss my pants? Or, are we capable of that? $36.50 to Overwatch. Good send. Rebels neutralized.
I'm taking it tonight with that.
We all know what's
Didn't show up any of the squad stuff.
No, I didn't. I didn't think to. I will do that in a minute. We'll show
Yeah,
up.
and
We'll show up.
as you noticed, if you don't squad up with them, they run out into the open like some
Yeah, I
doofuses.
should have squatted them. I was too like, I was loving it. This CW, this music is great. By the way.
It's
Just a quick
what's it called?
thought. You could give them a standoff goal with a battle line inside the building. I've never tried giving soldiers a battle line and also having them in the player's squad following orders. I don't know if that would work or not, but
It's
give it
worth
a try
trying.
sometime.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think to squad them. It's just because I was in my own world. I should have done that really. But yeah, so this is the cabin. Pretty huge map. I think there's some. We're going to be explaining the lore behind it in game eventually. There's a reason why it's here, and there's
Yeah. One of the rooms is unfurnished at the moment, the bedroom. We're waiting on some
Yeah.
props to be ported over.
there is. I think I won't be able to see it, but there's a dev message up there to imply to tell us about that. Him. But yeah, it's kind
You're
of.
not going to show what's at the end of the ice tunnel?
Oh yeah, I
For a
should
secret
so show
spoiler?
that. I forgot. Well, but before I do that, I was just gonna show off. Get out of here! There's some goodies up here. Like you can. I'm not gonna go up there, but I'm gonna show you. Like the cool thing about this is like it's not just like a flat forest. There's like a shed up there with some goodies in it. If you're bored, or if you know just exploring. So there's things that we can do
Oh
up
yeah,
there.
I've been up there.
There's this really cool event that happens in the barrage, but it's kind of annoying because when the canister barrage happens, we're kind of in the cabin. We don't see it, but this actually blows up and a canister hits it directly,
Oh.
which is really nice.
Yeah, it's all
really
it's all
cool.
animated and stuff. It's really nice to
It
look
is.
at.
It's pretty cool. But unfortunately, because we're actually in the cabin, I might be able to figure out a way to sort of get us out here. But I think the
Have a big
problem is-
window
yeah, maybe. I mean, if you were
next to the
stood,
fireplace.
if you were stood upstairs or here, I guess you could see it. But yeah,
Instinct for me was just to get the hell out of there when he said full canister barrage, but I think that was mainly because I knew that the cabin was going to get blown up anyway.
get hit.
So I was worried I was going to die. Yeah.
maybe maybe we should almost force that. Maybe we should get players to get out, because what I had to do is turn the damage down on like this canister here and this one down here, because instinctively I sort of flocked to these areas and it would wipe me out every time. But maybe that's the trick. Maybe it does wipe you out and you literally go out the
Well,
back door and run
how
away.
how does it wiping you out prevent players from staying there? They won't know until after it's already happened, and then it's just kind of a buzzkill.
Absolutely, that was my problem. Because I mean,
So-
you could literally be here, fighting a rebel out this window or something, and then it would hit and you just die. So
Yeah, I usually tried to bunker down in the refrigerator, like the
Yeah,
little
these
closet
is-
room.
these are good little rooms. He does shout during the fight where he's going. Oh crap! If you run into the toilet, he shouts, "Bathroom break!" Yeah. You can break the floors in these as well. Even the bathtub falls down. Look at that wonderful physics detail. You can break this as well. You hit it hard enough. He says. Oh my god, come on. Okay. Oh yeah, there it is. There you go. You can break that. All the roof sections breakable. Which is really good because every now and then the rebels up on the hill over there, they'll use their SMG alt fire, so you get the odd grenade through the roof occasionally. It was a challenge to build this map. There's lots of breakthroughs and stuff like that that didn't play too well with the lighting initially, but I think it's alright. Go and show off the cave. I wasn't going to do it, but I just remembered what I shoved down there for the lols.
3650 to Overwatch. I found a way through. Proceeding. Hold this sector.
This is completely different now in the VM. Well, it will be different in the VMF. And if we come around here, we've got the we've got a G-Man sequence here. It's just like the episode 2 one, but it probably better, dare I say.
Time. Dr. Freeman.
Time, Dr. Freeman.
Time for a dump, Doctor.
Gosh, I didn't know about this.
Up now.
Yeah, it's just a
This
bit.
is really changing the direction of the story. You know, what's gonna happen next?
I know. Who knows
Find
what will
out
happen
in
next
Entropy 003.
with this wild
Yeah,
twist.
okay.
It kind of glows.
You know, we planned on having a whole very elaborate G-Man appearance, but his first appearance was just him sitting on a toilet with his hands clasped together.
clasped together.
Whenever
Yeah.
he feels his bowels moving, he's just like, is it really that time again?
Is it really that time for another bowel movement again?
I'm getting old.
Should we do it again, but with squad stuff?
Yeah.
Sure. Also, throw a Zen grenade at some
To
point.
do that,
Oh,
it wasn't a
I
big
wanna
deal.
do that.
It's not really that noticeable.
I want to do the Zen
Thing
grenade
that
thing,
you would
though.
have had to pay attention to.
But yeah, Zen Grenade
So,
on the APC is great.
Yeah, you know what? I
is
remember
that
putting in some
is
code
that
to
revealed?
prevent. Sorry, I talked over you, Booksabon.
Is that revealed? Whatever, what CW just mentioned just now with the APC. I guess it was, so never mind.
Yeah. I think we've mentioned it in the past. About the Zen grenade, you mean?
Yeah, I remember.
Okay, so that's not a spoiler. Okay, yeah, no, of course it's not a spoiler. Never mind, of course not. People put it in the gameplay spoilers channel, but I guess it's not that big of a spoiler.
I was just gonna say, I thought the APC wasn't supposed to be allowed to be sucked up by Zen grenades, because I thought I put in some code for that, but yet somehow I did suck up my APC with a Zen grenade. Maybe it's because it's powered off that it worked. I don't know.
Oh.
Maybe. We'll see. You can give it a try.
I'm gonna do it
during
right now
combat.
and see what happens.
Or right now. Oh wait, could you have someone stand in front of the APC headlight before you do that?
Yeah. He's coming. We're gonna get attacked. We're gonna get viciously assaulted. Oh, look at that! Shit! Yeah, I can see. I don't know. It's very. The shadows there. It's lovely. Okay, I'm gonna suck the APC up, everyone. Prepare for unforeseen
Soldier up too.
consequences or something. I don't know. Damn it!
It takes a few
Oh, shit.
tries.
I think it. Goodbye. Oh my god! It spawned a baby ball squid. There you go. Live on the stream. And he just
Oh my god,
murdered.
sorry. That fucking combine NPC getting
Fucking, did you see that?
It didn't even ragdoll, just his like NPC.
Yeah,
Shit.
I saw it.
It looks like the APC isn't being swallowed.
Huh. For some reason, like
I
it
think
worked
it's
when
because-
because I threw it next to it, so it went up in the air. I
Yeah.
didn't go underneath.
I will
has
give
to
it a
fly
try.
up.
I mean, the eye of the sugarcane here, boys.
That was the
Shit! I got fucking snatched from behind. Holy shit. Okay, hang on. Right, let me.
I'm
let
so
me-
glad
know,
you
it
put
might
that
be a
back
good-
door in there.
I know, because it just.
You know, Brett, it might be a good idea to automatically add these guys to the squad this time.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, maybe as soon
To
as they
set
exit
squad
the,
player_squad.
Sorry, I've just swallowed the APC. It worked. Worked that time. Holy shit. Oh my god, he just floored himself on the fucking. on the log. Shit, man. You dead. Hello. Shit.
You know, but
I noticed the shotgun guy is T-posing still as well. Oh, Christ.
that's probably from the outdated animation file that you still haven't deleted.
Oh, yeah, I still need to do that. I keep bloody forgetting. Throw one of these out there. Throw some Zen grenade to see what happens.
the
Also,
other
I'd like
thing
to
I
point
to
out,
do. Oh, sorry. Good.
one more thing I'd like to point out is that did you notice that all the soldiers seem to have more unique closed captioning now?
Yes, I
Did you
noticed
notice
that.
that? Yeah, that's something I added. Each sentence, most sentences have their own unique CC now, because before they were just like background subtitles, but now they're actually subtitles are not considered sound effects.
Pretty banging. Oh shit! Sorry, every time I play this mod, I just get fucking absorbed.
Yeah,
It's the combat.
it's so hard to test features because I just like start playing. It's hard to stay on task if I'm trying to prove something is working.
Absolutely, it is.
Yeah, I have that problem too.
Did that guy just kill himself with his own grenade? I swear one of them launched a grenade then to kill the antlion, and ended up killing another one of his friends with the grenade.
They can't do friendly fire, but they could end up hurting themselves. But they shouldn't usually do that as much. Like, it should be like, pretty much the same as soldiers in that regard.
Shit. I'm getting out of here. Look, you can see the canisters coming in. They go. Like, let's watch this. We're gonna watch the. You can see that thing get absolutely mincemeat. Come on, you fucker! Here he goes. Look. Blammo! Oh, there's so much smoke. But there you go. That's telekinesis, Kyle.
Oh man, I could see that you made it shatter, and it didn't be on this. I know exactly what you did, though. Is that from the episode 2 animation, or
the sawmill?
like,
Yeah. That's
yeah,
episode
that's
2.
what I thought. That's cool.
It's nice. I'm gonna make this headcrab go into orbit. Oh damn, he set on fire! Sorry, I'm having too much
comment
fun.
on that?
He did comment on that, no.
Oh man, yeah, the stream's a little bit behind for me. I could see that though. Yeah, head crabs catch on fire after explosions.
Oh yeah. You're fired!
It's a vanilla Half-Life 2 thing.
It's nice. It's good to see them burning.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, let's see if it happens this time. You might. Yeah, you might not have turned scripting off. You need to turn scripting off of a player for him to respond to this stuff.
Oh, is this
Like, just end fire.
End fire player. Add context.
Fire player stop scripting. Stop scripting, not add context.
Player stop scripting.
Yeah.
Oh, got it. Got it. Right, should go and blow up some headcrabs then. So he should comment
See if
on.
he says something.
He should comment on headcrabs catching fire.
He should either comment on the explosion or them being caught on fire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, other than that, if he doesn't comment on that, then he'll just comment on it like a regular line.
Here we go. Oh yeah,
Seems
that's it.
behind
There
for
we
me.
go. Ooh.
Yeah, he said, okay, the stream caught up for me. He said kaboom. That's just, that's one of the lines he says whenever there's an explosion. And whenever he said that's enough out of you, that's his line for whenever he throws a grenade. It's temporary at the moment. He's going to have unique ones.
I like that. You're not getting my head.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if we hit him in midair, he says something, doesn't he?
If you hit them with a bunch of damage, like a shotgun shot or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, he's wounded as well, isn't he?
That shouldn't influence it.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, off. It's great. I love it. I love it. So, chapter 1, map 3. What were we going to show off there? There's some squad related context stuff, isn't there?
The antlions. I think it was particularly the antlion lines related to them jumping and coming out of the holes. So, yeah, we could just change them up to that and see if those responses work. I have no idea if they will. One of just said that. I mean, it's that some responses, but the other things aren't. Let's see if.
Let's have a look, shall we?
Just. He does. He said that's in mind. So just go on and let's see if he does these lines. An antline as it's coming out of a hole, or blow it up as it's coming out, or something like that, and see if it does the line.
Too quick. Let's see if we can get one coming out of a hole.
It seems quite laggy. Is that just me?
This chapter, you'll notice in the last video I did, this chapter does not behave with like filming it. I don't know if it's just intensive or something.
Oh yeah, is it? Are you talking about the frames?
Frames, yeah.
That's from haters. There's still. I really hate. I really hate that issue, and I really want to get it fixed.
Yeah.
Are you
I mean,
able to block them off with props?
I was just trying
The
that.
frame rate tanked on stream.
You need to do that because that was the case in episode 1. Well, I mean, no.
Absolutely.
Break all props. It makes sense if they break it first, so never mind.
I think that was something. One of my very first feedbacks on Easy 2 was I was confused by the grenade mechanic because previously it was physics props that blocked the holes. So even though there's like 2 or 3 examples, I actually missed one of them. So there were 2 examples of soldiers throwing grenades into the holes. I still missed that, so I didn't realize that that's what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
What we're supposed to do what we were going to do on this map was just it's so we could kill an antlion as it's jumping or as it's coming out of the hole.
Yeah.
But we could also just get on a more stable map and use inputs to make them burrow or unburrow manually. If you're more comfortable with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would. It depends. Like, if we could find something big enough to plug a hole with. I didn't really think about it. I mean, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I think the grenade mechanic is fine. It's just something that should be telegraphed really clearly. And I think you did a good job of that with the first map because the soldiers do it for you at first. When I playtested it, I didn't realize that I was supposed to take over for the soldiers after the first few times they did that with the grenades in the holes.
Yeah, so you have to kill a soldier right as it's coming out of the. Kill an antlion right as it's coming out of the hole.
Whilst I'm here, I just want to check and see. Do I still have this really crappy, spooky thing?
You do, but
I know what you're talking about. You do have it.
We need to remove that. That's old. That's like from like day 1. Holy crap.
So what? You don't want that anymore? I always thought it was kind of a cool thing.
We could.
Yeah, I thought so too.
We could keep it in.
That's some thoughts about how we could. I don't know.
Yeah, did you see that whenever he said not so fast? He said that because the antlion was just coming out of the hole.
Yeah.
It's really subtle. Like, it's hard on the stream to even reproduce it, but it's those like little details that make him feel like a person, you know.
Absolutely.
And he also has a line for whenever they actually like they're jumping. So like just go back upstairs and wait for an antlion to come out of that hole and jump up to his level, and just kill it while it's jumping.
Okay. Oh, I can hear Overwatch. That's super creepy. Yeah, whilst we're waiting for this antlion, in terms of the like the shadow things. Oh fuck! I missed. I missed. Not very good at this. Quick. Oh, for fuck's sake. I died. What's happening to the rain? Something's gone wrong. Oh my god, the rain particles have died.
Oh my god, I've never seen that before.
Wait a minute, what the hell?
That's like a missing
Oh
particle.
no, I know what this is. I thought I fixed this, and it's still happening. What the hell is wrong with me?
Oh no.
And
Is it like when you
this is
reload
my
the
fault.
map?
This is my fault. I know what this is. It's my fault with bug. I was trying to make it so Funk precipitation supports custom brain particles and map base, and I was having some trouble getting it to work, and I made it so, and there was a pre-caching problem. So
okay.
I tried. So I just put it in temporary fix. Forgot to get back to that, and now this is happening.
XCOM, give it to you.
Apologies. Yeah.
That's an alpha thing. So yeah, but I've just reloaded the map and it's fine. So I was trying to get one of them to jump.
Yeah, go back up to that hallway or whatever, and
Yeah.
find to come
I'm
out of
struggling.
come out of
Run.
It's weird how the frames for OBS just randomly like tank.
In this, it's always this chapter. Like when I was filming it the other day, it was this chapter. It runs absolutely
Yeah.
fine on the machine. I don't have any.
I
like,
assume it's
lag.
because of. I'm pretty sure it's because of the shaders.
Yeah, it's really weird because the other chapters don't have this issue.
Yeah, maybe you know, this actually might help in figuring out what's wrong with the shaders. It's intensive in entities or something. Draw calls. I don't know.
I mean, this map is heavily cube. It's heavily cube mapped. I mean, there's cubies everywhere. Like, I mean, like specular materials. I mean, like everything's shiny because of the rain. I don't know if that could be part of the problem. The fact that we're using all of this specular stuff.
I think so. But just keep killing these antlines as we're jumping,
he's just
and
done
let's
one.
see if he. Okay, I haven't seen the stream.
Stream will catch up. He's like, jumping isn't gonna save you from me.
That's one of them. So yeah, the jumping lines. You could get off of this map now if you don't want to suffer the frame
I'm
wars.
excited to hear him say that in Chapter 2, Map 3. Would that work? How does he know when to say the jumping lines?
Did he just say you can't shoot from shit to an antline?
He did.
Oh, that too. That's a temporary line, I think. There's some placeholders still. I use that as a placeholder for some lines. I don't know which rule that would be in particular. What do you say, 1UP? How do I know if they're jumping? How do I score that?
Yeah, like how is it scored whether or not an NPC is jumping?
I check the NPC's activity for whether they're playing Act Jump or Act Glide.
Perfect.
Or wait a minute, no. Act Land or Act Glide. And I have another one for Antlines because they use a special line whenever they're jumping right at the player, you know, that late. Special line, I'm sorry, a special rule for that so that it's picked up too. But I've had some trouble getting fast zombie leaps to register, and yeah, they seem to just reset their activity the moment that they die. So yeah,
Is
that
it
hasn't.
the range attack activity for the lead?
Oh my god, it just crashed.
What do you say?
Sorry, the game just crashed.
Fast zombies use the range attack activity for their leap, I think, right?
Yeah, the thing is, they reset to Act Idle whenever they die.
Okay.
At least by the time the response system measures it.
Couple of things I wanted to say. You could play C2-3 because that has jumping enemies and it has, I think CW
Sorry,
changed
Brett,
some of the music.
Brett, did you just crash?
Yeah, it just crashed on me. It just...
Mine did the exact same.
Could you
Brett.
send me the dump file from the crash?
Yeah.
Just so I can diagnose that.
I'll try and find it.
I'm curious to know what
does it
crashed
chuck
that
it?
too. Hopefully, it wasn't anything I did with the soldiers.
Where does it chuck the dump?
So it's Steam/dumps, and it should be the most recent one. It'll be like Half-Life 2 _ something.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
And I have the PDB files on my local machine, so I can check that out for you.
That's wicked. There you go. I've pasted that into chat for you. You can have a look at the dump.
So we're done with that. So
what were we saying? What?
So next up is the Q&A, right?
Yeah, Q&A. If we're done with gameplay for tonight, are we done?
I was going to ask you could show C2-3 because I think CW changed the music selection and because the new responses might play during the fight.
Well, I mean,
maybe.
Brett doesn't have much time, but do you think we should do that?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I lost track of time.
I can show it off. That's all right. Let's show it off. Let's do it.
I was just thinking of things you could do. Another note I wanted to make, this is kind of a tangent, but you walked by the hologram of the slam in Chapter 1, and that reminded me of holograms. And there was a user in the chat. Let me see if I can find it a second ago. Where was that? Somebody in the chat suggested something for C44 that I think was really good. It was the user called, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, Fiowski. He says, or she says, how about since he was an elite, Bad Cop would see where the canisters hit. You could use like a command marker hologram with a different color or something like that to show where the canisters are going to land when he calls the barrage down.
Might not be able to see it through walls, though. I mean, I could see how we would be able to do that, but that would take a lot of work.
No, it wouldn't. It would be a prop dynamic in the map. Because you know where the canisters are going to land already.
Yeah.
You just put the prop dynamic there and turn it on when they're on the relay that calls the choreographed scene.
And it'd be like a hologram.
That would just turn those on, and then you could even use an AI sound to make soldiers flee from those spots so that the soldiers wouldn't get hit.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yes, that's a good idea. Okay, I like this. I like this. Yeah, because then we'll be able to see where where the canisters are actually gonna land. Sort of plan.
It would make it feel less like, you know, the Combiner launching missiles directly at Bad Cop. You know,
Yeah.
if he can see in his visor where they're going to
Right.
land, that gives him at least a little bit of time to duck out of the way.
It's a great idea. I love that whole sequence, especially afterwards when he's just like, "Did I just piss my pants?" It's great. It's a great little insight.
I just want to say, whenever Bad Cop said you can't shoot for shit to an antlion, there's only 2 responses where he still uses that placeholder.
Oh, I see.
One of them is whenever he takes. One of them is whenever he takes revenge for an NPC shooting at him, and that's not really a placeholder in that case. We're gonna keep that there. And the only other one is well, it's kind of an Easter egg. But Brad, were you in God mode?
I was then, yeah. Because I wanted
Okay,
to.
then that's why.
Yeah.
The cat
okay.
hath returned.
Yes, the cat is here. Go knock, cat.
You remember that time I thought that was one of Brad's children?
Yeah. You hungry?
Oh, I want to pet the kitty. I haven't pet a kitty in so long.
Yeah.
He's a
I
good
know why
boy.
that response played, and it's because Brad was in God mode.
Yeah, that's right. I did put Godmode on so I could try and survive. Just to do it.
That's fine.
Right, so I'm gonna
It's fine because if Trivia had recorded the line, then it would ruin the Easter egg.
That's cool. So I'm going to show off map chapter 2, map 3. Is that right? Chapter 2, map 3. Yeah.
You don't have to. It was just a suggestion of like lines where or maps where the jumping lines might play. I was trying to think of something that might be easier to trigger than antlions.
Sure. Let's give it a go.
Just note, Breadman, with that map, it has when you load it up, it doesn't load in all the props and stuff. So you have to go back through the door into C22 and then back through.
Oh,
back
okay.
to
Yeah,
sure.
that's part of the way they're stitched, because
Sure.
there's a lot of physics props that are shared between them. I don't think you really necessarily need to do that.
Oh.
It's just some of them will be missing.
Let's have a look. Can I finish the stream, cat? Please, man. Come on. Let me do the stream. Don't
I
you
love
wanna
your
see
cat.
new gameplay? I can literally have conversations with this cat. It's great.
I love cats that do that. Mine never does.
No.
He just stares
How
at
do
you
you feel
like a
about the
twat.
current political climate?
I can be like, you want to see Entropy 02? Do ya? Aw.
Oh.
I think he likes it. Right, okay. Let's do this. Let's kill some shit. Yeah, see, like that. That's almost like that's a kind of hologram. Oh shit! I
Yeah,
just realized
exactly.
we haven't. We had. Oh, that was really nice. Sorry, that was nice. I should probably turn the sound up. I turned it right down again. Hang on. Turn it up a little bit so we can actually hear. Did you say there's some? You changed up the music in this bit?
Yeah. I swapped out some of the music.
No smoking.
I might have
like
to
that.
turn my volume up. I haven't actually heard the new music selection, so I'm curious what it's gonna sound like.
This is this is cool. This is like new to me. Like I haven't played this bit. It's been a while since I played this map. Oh yeah, man. Booze and gambling and newspapers. This is a dynamic light, isn't it?
Yep. I think we might have shown this off on a stream before. I don't
we did.
recall, but if you shoot the light, the light will turn off. Sorry, I just tripped over my words there, but
Also, this isn't like the daylight stuff that Trevor was talking about. It's a projected texture.
yep, it's a projected texture.
Let's go. Somebody in chat's just said the cat should be an Easter egg. The cat is an Easter egg. He's in the dream sequence. That was.
I almost forgot about that.
Yeah.
I
I
only
really
have
like that
nightmares.
scene.
Oh, you played
Yeah,
cold
we didn't want-
calculated here. Sorry. Stream.
Want to become?
Yeah,
we don't
I
want to
did-
become Barney, more
I
like
didn't
Barney, do we?
What? Sorry, I heard like.
We don't want to become more like Barney and start having nightmares about a cat, do we?
No. This bit of music fits well here.
It's so good.
Oh shit! Dick.
Where are we? Squad buddies.
I know, yeah, my squad buddies. I'm gonna give myself some squad buddies in a minute. Shit.
Oh, I should have mentioned. There's a relay you can fire. It's called like Relay Spawn Test Squad or something like that.
Oh, cool. I'll do that.
That'll.
Maybe that should probably be fired on map spawn.
Are robos?
Yeah. How do you spawn something only when you
fucking hell. Sorry.
load the map to the console?
Logic Auto has an output called on new game that only fires whenever the map is loaded as part of a new game.
I can't believe I've never used that before. Yeah, I should have done that.
It's used in Half-Life 2 maps whenever the player loads a map for the first time, without like having transitioned there or loading a game.
I just had like I'm gonna call it an Entropy 02 moment just then. People watching the stream would have seen that. I was looking at the shelf and I heard a lady say, "Eat it!" And I turn around and she's just crouched there, pointing the shotgun at me. And I just blew her away. It was great. I don't know why that happened. It was great. Anyway, are robos lines in?
I believe they are. Well, they might be in the wrong folder. I sent you a folder that had sounds instead of sound, so they might show up as blank.
Right. Give it a go.
Sounds folder whenever your sound isn't enough.
They're in. They're working.
There's no sign of its squad leader. The one with the,
He sounds angry.
white armor. We have to track the leader down before it gets the message out.
Is it for upper lines?
Yeah, it's the robo lines.
Yeah.
It's super cool. I love the idea of having like little
We were
recorders.
talking about this. We were talking about this because of the because we basically just threw the lines at it and we didn't give much direction. We intended it to be like a kind of just an ominous kind of thing, but it sounds like these time anomalies just pissing him off.
Yeah, I know. It's great. I really like it. I like in here as well. Like, this is cool. I haven't seen these details yet. I'm having a blast. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So I think we actually walked by the first recording box without using it, and then that's fine. You don't need to show all of them on the
Fine.
stream.
Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, but that's.
I just want to make a note that they're like sort of hidden around. You know, there's more to find than just the one.
To find them. That's really cool. Doing a Freeman. I'm in the vent. Can we AR2 alt fire yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we can, and it doesn't crash anymore. It fires one ball and it doesn't crash.
That's great. You hear that, George? Wherever he's gone. Yeah, man. We can alt fire AR2s now. We can do it. Yeah. We'll give it a try. We'll vaporize some rebels. Whippersnapper. Right, coming in. It feels weird not having a squad here. I know that we were just talking about that.
Make sure you save and stuff.
Yeah, it's a good point, good point. Cheeky breaky. Fucking hell, that door. Oh, it's so close. Take out. Oh, I like the stinger.
Yeah,
Shit.
essentially grab the original sample Spencer used for that an unslightly seen
Oh yeah.
track and just put that for the tripped room. And then for the action scene, I'd grabbed an unslightly seen and used that for the combat.
It's pretty cool. It sounds really good. It's providing some good ambiance.
Wait, is this a different track than the one from before?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's because Spencer uses.
Okay.
I have the same sample music pack as Spencer, so I essentially grabbed the same sample he used for his combat track, except it doesn't have any beats and stuff in it.
I swear I
But
just...
you were about to use it something.
Hello. hell. He had fun in here, didn't he? Oh wow, it's a certificate. A certificate of... I can't read it. Something.
It says pompousness.
Oh, nice!
It's from Counter-Strike, I think.
Oh.
I have it in mind to actually redo that room a little bit. I don't know when I'll actually get around to doing that, but I wanted to adjust the sort of setup a little bit to match better what you hear in the recordings.
Right.
We've changed the narrative just a little bit, so that's probably going to be adjusted. But I haven't actually edited this map much over the past, I don't know, month or so. So we'll see.
Can I give you a suggestion? Right?
Yeah, sure.
Flip this projector around to face this wall here, and slap a projected texture on it, so it's actually projecting something on the wall. If we can do that.
We have talked about using a real projector in one of these maps to show Borealis documents and stuff.
Oh.
I didn't think about using it here.
Oh, that would be perfect.
Because it would be cool. Because
Did I really not talk to you about that, Brad? About my ideas for that stuff?
I'm sure you did. I've probably just spaced it, to be honest. Because
I think in this room, I'm trying to think what would, because the Borealis stuff, I've got another. There's a room behind a locked door that I haven't unlocked yet that I wanted to put some Borealis stuff in. This room I think would be sort of like they're like planning to, because in the recordings they talk about interrogating the Combine soldier.
Yeah.
So I think this would be more like tactical, more like where where Robo's character would be planning something. So he might be using the projector to show something. I don't know. We could come up with something really cool to put in that room.
Yeah, it's
maybe something that goes along with the recording box, because there's a recording box right there where he talks about, we want to interrogate him.
The cool thing
I would
about
also like to
the projector.
point out that the projector, you could take it with you.
Oh, yeah, that would be cool.
And you could break it. And you could break the stuff kit. That CSS prop has a lot of gibs.
Yeah. Because I was just thinking that the opportunity is, you go through this way, you bring the soldier back, you'd have those projected textures like on the soldier as he's coming out. It would just look cool. It's just a nitpicky thing. It just look cool. Right, come. Oh shit, he's jumping. Let's do this shit. Let's do this shit. Ah yeah. I'm gonna open the door. Son. You're all just targets to me now. Love that. Look at him go. He's doing the crouchy thing. Oh yeah, the Viscerators are out. Take that! Right, come on, let's go! Don't go that way. You'll get blown up. Stay here. Stay here. The old-fashioned way. That's good. The actual follow lines are working good now. I remember you saying earlier.
Yeah.
That's good. Ooh, somebody's shooting barnacles down there. Hello. He must have been talking because he said stop talking. Ooh. Thought he was dead. Secrets. Oh, Oh, this is a bit different. Cool. Oh, I love the lighting in here. Another radio box there. I won't play it. I don't want to spoil nothings.
You could play it, unless you want to leave it for people to discover on their own.
Yeah, I think I want people to discover them.
Okay.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, totally. Keeps the mystery.
We don't want to give everything away. This is where the map ends. That was good, wasn't it?
So I have
Go for it. Go for it, what up?
starting to work on the next map after this one. I got totally sidelined by Stukabats, but that's where I'm heading. Is just wrapping up this chapter. It's really just an extension of the final scene that used to be in the previous map, but now it's going to have a new map built around it. So
That sounds good. I can't wait to see it.
It's gonna be real. It's really spoiler heavy on stuff that I don't think we're gonna
Yeah.
be
I know.
revealing until the release.
it's-
Are
I
you
guess
ever gonna
it's a
show
good-
that off?
no, it's a good thing
Yeah,
that I
that-
don't
that-
have anything to show because
Yeah,
we
that works.
can't
Yeah,
show
we don't
it.
have to. I don't know if we'll ever reach a point in which we could start talking about the big spoiler stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
But like we could just keep this map under wraps until release, like this next
Yeah.
map.
Oh, absolutely. I think even the opening of the map is going to be kind of startling. It's supposed to make you think. It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm keen to see it.
Want me to post a
When?
screenshot in the chat?
Yeah,
Sure.
that would be nice. We can have a cheeky, sneaky
I'll just-
peek.
Give us a gander.
What? You mean a screenshot of one of the new map, or what?
Yeah, I think I already sent it to you like a while ago. I haven't touched it in, I don't know, like a month or
yeah.
so. But...
Oh yeah, I know. Okay. Are you sure of it? Are you sure we don't have to show that one? It's not. I know it doesn't really.
No,
have
not on
that.
not on the stream. I was just saying because I don't think I've shown it to everyone else yet. But
Oh, you mean just us for devs? Okay.
yeah,
Just the
Uh,
devs.
Right, Q&A.
Yeah.
Showing it off like like on stream. We're just gonna hear our reactions and make conclusions off of that.
Off of the
Yeah.
the screenshot.
I just realized I have to recompile it because there's like an old C2.4 back when Chapter 3 used to be Chapter 2. That's because I downloaded the build, so I got to
Wow.
rebuild my map.
Yeah, I remember when Chapter 3 was like a map of Chapter 2. That fucking somebody's fucking put the picture of the fucking shotgun soldier T-posing in the goddamn.
I know.
It's fucking
I
hilarious.
saw that. I thought of pinning it. Pinning it.
It's fucking
Someone's
hilarious.
posted- And someone's posted.
Okay.
the
Yes.
Okay. One have had the courage that I did not.
This image is important.
It is because it reminds me I
Yes,
need to delete
everyone
those
should see it.
freaking files.
All right, you fucking.
I don't know why I suddenly just said this idea, but imagine if Backup just said, I need to delete those freaking files.
Delete those goddamn animations. So,
All right,
so yeah, a Q&A time.
all right, you fuckers. I'm fucking tired and I fucking ache and I want to go to bed. So let's keep the fucking questions in there. Make them good questions, you bastards. None of that bullshit. Let's have a look. What have we got? I'm gonna do
shit.
some Q&A ASMR. Right.
Sorry, the cat's right on the desk. Hello.
Do they want to ask a question? Oh. Right, elephants doing crack. We've had them on the show before. Asks, will we ever do another bad cop Q&A?
Oh, totally. I think we should.
Oh yeah, and now because I'm voicing
I mean,
bad cop and a man of the
Trivia,
people
I
hearing
don't-
my voice, then I can.
You know, you haven't talked about that on stream yet, Trivia. Any of this? Did you want to talk about the certain blooper thing with involves a character beginning with G and ending with Y?
Oh, did we not talk about this? Yeah,
Oh, God,
basically,
yeah,
We
that
talked
was-
about it in public.
That wasn't.
we were
That
having
was.
a
Oh my god.
private dev
We talked
meeting,
about-
and
We talked
Yeah.
about whenever you were streaming the relight thing in the public voice channel on the server, but we haven't talked about it on stream.
I was crying. I literally cried.
Yeah, same. I was dying, but basically I was talking about how like voicing Bad Cop like just destroys my throat.
Yeah, I was recording some like response lines a couple of weeks ago, and I ended up having a really bad like throat thing for a few days, and so he's
Yeah,
gonna need to change
so
that.
I was
Way
like,
voices in.
I need to start voicing Bad Cop a little bit differently, and I started like doing Bad Cop lines and like stupid like Mickey Mouse voice, and then I switched to Goofy,
Yeah.
and it was just the funniest. But I actually have I
did-
shown you guys? I vocoded a Goofy.
You did.
Goofy.
You posted
I can
that to
play.
developer chat, but you haven't. I don't think you've shown it in public.
Maybe I'll show it in public. Actually, Breadman, you have it. You can play it if
I
you
gotta
want.
find.
on
I gotta
stream.
scroll up.
Ooh.
I gotta scroll up, but I can just
It-
play it over the stream. Hang
But
on.
Yeah, it could be in
Goofy Cop.
this Bad Cop folder.
Oh, is it in the backup folder?
Is it? Is it? I don't know.
I don't know. So like,
Did
I don't
you
know
put it in
if
the
that's-
build? What?
no, it's
Is
not
it in the
there.
build? I am sorry.
No, I didn't
Okay,
even,
I am so sorry. I thought you put all the bloopers in there.
no, it's all good. I didn't even download it. I just hit play on Discord when we posted it. I can't actually find it.
Okay.
Why can't I find it on here?
Just search for Goofy. No?
Goofy, Gooby.
Yeah, it was like the whole intro to the game done with Goofy voice and vocoded for Bad Cop. It was great.
I can't see it on here, guys, at the minute. I'll find it sometime. When I find it, we'll share it. But yeah, it was so fucking funny. Like, oh my god. Just
So yeah, we will do another Bad Cop Q&A at some point,
Yeah.
especially because it's not going to destroy my throat, hopefully. So yeah, we just don't know what questions would be asked. I mean, holy shit. It was like
we covered a
we
lot.
grasped at straws last time as well.
We covered a lot of lore stuff. In the last Q&A, didn't we? I mean, like we covered like such a whole broad spectrum of it. Like I can't think of what could be asked, but
It'd just be I just feel like it'd just be meme questions, to be honest.
yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, you guys don't know about that place, do you? You don't know the plan about that.
Oh,
I
What?
know of that place. I don't know what's going to happen there, but I know of it.
Yeah, it's really interesting. There's people on stream won't have a fucking clue what we're talking about, but because it's in Discord.
Sorry, chat.
We're looking at the screenshots of the new map that OneUp's working on, and there's something pretty spoilery in
Yes, the map that OneUp is working on. It has a very creative mindfuckery going on, and I personally wish that we could use that we could. Well, actually, wait a minute. I was trying to think back to something I was saying before whenever he was first making this, but now I don't remember. I think that I agree that he's doing his best. Yeah, never mind. I don't even remember what it was that I said. It looks looks really good. Yeah, it's going to really enhance what you're trying to portray.
oh, thank you.
It
And
will.
particular
I do feel
scene-
that will be really confusing, though.
Yeah, it's a little bit confusing. The particular scene that I
Y-
just posted, that's
yeah.
the one that we're avoiding showing. It's something that I was going to suggest for Breadman to use later on in the game, but I think it fits here because of it's a good marker for the transition into Chapter 3, and that's all I'm going to say. I can't give any details,
Yeah.
but I think
Yeah, I think
I'm happy with it.
I really love how that marries our story with what's happening in the official canon. Because
I just
Yeah.
wish wish that you'd make it a little bit more distinct.
We'll see. It's still like it's not even playable. Like I can barely even compile this thing right now, so it's we'll see where it goes. I need to spend some more time mapping this out.
it's going to be cool. So,
Help.
what other questions do we have?
Right, I'm going to get all intimate with the microphone here.
Oh god, not ASMR again.
I'm going to get some ASMR Q&A going. Let's scroll up and see what we got. Nimbus asks, are you ever going to have Bad Cop being able to look in the mirror and comment on his new body?
Well, you know what happens at the
God,
beginning.
what is this? Oh my God, is this guy like Among Us or something? Who's asked this?
The thing is, right, at the beginning of Entropy 02, the very beginning of the game, you literally see yourself in a mirror.
Oh yeah.
Not only that, but don't forget
oh.
what we were planning for C2 free.
Yeah, and maybe we do that because it's kind of that's the contrast that we're making again with Half-Life 2. It's kind of like you can see yourself in the mirror.
No, I mean, you understand what that guy suggested was literally exactly what we were already planning on doing.
Oh yeah.
Him looking at himself
Yeah.
in the mirror
And then commenting.
and commenting on it.
Yeah. Oh no, we
It's
were already
interesting
doing that, weren't
that
we?
you brought up chapter 1 at the very beginning, seeing yourself, because even if that doesn't come to fruition, even if we can't get the mirror scene that's kind of in the works right now, even if we can't get that working, you do see yourself at the very beginning of the game. So at least
Yeah.
the box is checked. But yeah, we were planning exactly that comment. You actually walked by the mirror in that level,
I
but
did.
there's no reflection yet and no lines yet. But hopefully we can someday have that.
That would be really interesting, and again would highlight the whole, he's in a host body,
Yeah.
etc. He could probably comment that he's ripped now or something. I don't know. There's all sorts that all sorts of things he would say. Yeah. So that will happen.
Okay, so El Sleazo asks, does Breadman get tumors if he teleports?
Me? What, me? If I teleport?
Yes, because you're
Yeah.
Breadman.
Ah.
You know,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
teleport around. That's
Yeah.
just your thing.
That's just me,
And do you get tumors when you teleport?
I do all the time, I guess.
Only
Yeah.
if you teleport yourself for free. Only if you do nothing but teleport yourself for 3 days.
Yeah. If I do nothing but teleport myself for 3 days straight, that's when I get tumors. We've done nothing but teleport bread. They should have done more fucking shorts like that, because that was amazing.
It was.
It was so good, and it was genuinely funny. I have done nothing but teleport bread for 3 days. Incredible.
Okay, the Combine Soldier asks, will there be any more new weapons?
I kind of doubt it.
There is one that we haven't really
Yeah,
shown
there's
off,
one.
right?
Absolutely. We need to work
Ver
on it, don't
one.
we?
So yeah, based on the feedback, I think that I'm going to be completely redoing that weapon at some point in the future, but we'll have to wait and see what comes of it.
Yeah,
It works well with one of the response lines I made, though.
Does it? Is that one of the?
I'm not. I don't know if I should say it. Well, I mean, are you okay with me just pointing out what it just a basic
I think it's okay
characteristic of what
because
this?
I think
It works well with the lines where where the enemies catch on fire.
Yes, yeah. That's pretty cool. We need to have like a powwow about that gun. We need to have a meeting one night where it's just going to be about that.
Yeah, I agree.
'Cause
It seems like we have neglected
it's
it a
kind
lot,
of-
and it is a pretty big deal.
We've gone to.
But I don't
like,
think we even have any ammo anywhere.
Exactly. We've got like the model. We've got it in the game. We know when we're picking it up. You've got the response lines, but the gun is not. It's nowhere near done. We don't even know what it's going to be completely.
I think before we have the powwow, I'd like to take a first pass at redoing it because I've
Please do.
suggested some ideas to you
Yes,
of
yeah.
how it could be redesigned. I think the feedback that I've gotten from it basically communicated one thing to me, and it's just that the design we were going for, yeah, it didn't have the effects, yeah, it didn't look right, but more fundamentally, it just didn't communicate to players what the gun was or the significance of it. I think
Yeah.
people using that gun felt really disappointed because they're like, wow, this should be really cool, but it's something else other than what it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
So I had some ideas of how we could like sort of incorporate into the gameplay what it was supposed to be originally, and I wanted to try that out. But I really can't say like what can we do with that. I don't know. I've got to play with it for a while before I can come up with anything concrete.
See, it's like when we added the MP5K, I feel like that is firmly seated now in the game. Like I whipped I whipped that out for ball squids, and if there's like rebels at mid to long range, I whip it out for that. It's a great weapon and it has its place. But with that gun, with the new weapon we're talking about, I can't see where I would use it at the minute in its current state. I'd never use it. I never use it. I can't see when I would use it. So a rework would be good. Definitely.
I mean, are we talking about the flare gun?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's because it's a flare gun at the moment. It's not really supposed to be a flare gun.
It's supposed to be a flare gun. But,
that's exactly what I have in mind.
Yeah. It's...
So we're just throwing that out there, okay? Oh wait a minute.
But
Oh
we've
yeah,
already
of course,
shown it
the
on
artillery
stream.
part.
Yeah.
It's just a flare gun at the moment. For some reason I thought that was something, but we're going to make a derivative of that, and what we have planned so far for that is a spoiler.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it is, but because I'm sure we talked about it on stream.
It is
There was
still in the
a design
planning phase,
document.
but still, I don't. What we have is pretty unique, and we should just start sharing it whenever we know it's going to be a thing.
It could change. I mean, we need to. Yeah.
We might even cut out the whole thing entirely for all we know. It's unlikely at this point because Kralik made a new model for it, but still.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with it.
I think the model is really what's driving it. It's like I want to do that model justice. 'Cause
yeah,
just
me
looking
too.
at it, it looks so good.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah,
You're really hard on
I'm gonna try to play with it and come up with something and get back to you.
That
But
would be
I
great.
would like to focus on chapter 2 first. I think having the whole game connected is a little bit more important at this stage, even.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay.
Next question.
Okay, moving on. Elephant's doing crack again. Asks, will we still be able to bring Wilson with us?
Yeah.
Yes,
Think so. Yeah.
That's definitely planned.
we will.
Haven't.
We have things planned.
Yeah, we haven't done anything.
He's not
with
going
it.
to. He is not going to be like a vital thing you can bring along. And after the chapter he is useful in, he will be. You might be able to use him for something later on, okay?
Yeah.
But we're trying not to make it so that he's something that you need to get more supplies or something. We're trying not to make him a gameplay benefit. Well, I mean, you could use him to block bullets and stuff, and we're going to add stuff for that. He's going to be a really unique character
I've got
for
like my
this. But
cat.
after chapter 3, he's going to be just like a non-vital thing you could leave behind or throw off a cliff or something, and nothing will happen. Maybe backup could say Wilson. But yeah, that's what we have planned for him at the moment. Should we move on to the next question, or do you have other things to talk about for us?
Sorry, I had to let my cat out.
Do you have anything else to talk about regarding this question, or should we move on?
Let's move on. Let's get some more questions done before we end the stream.
Yep. Ruffleman asks if we're going to have any more beta content in the mod, like the Hydra or the OICW.
I don't know, really. I can't.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably not.
We're kind of at that funny stage now where we're over the hump. So when you look back at what we've done, I would say that the majority of the sort of initial development for the mod has been completed, and we've got a really clear picture of what we're going to do next. Like chapter 5 and 6, to me, in my mind at least, they're very clear. I know what to expect from those chapters now. So I can't see room for any more beta stuff. We were talking when we had our last meeting, it was either last week or the week before, can't remember now. We're talking about basically putting a clamp on our features at some point where we say from this point on, no more new features. We're just going to enhance the ones that we've got. And we're going to do that so that we don't basically expand forever. Because we could expand forever.
There are still some things that we wanted to go back in alpha to do, but I guess those aren't necessarily new features as much as we're just doing work on what we already have. So yeah.
Yeah, I kind of mean like new things. There'll be a point when we say like
I know what you mean, like brand new things.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely, like brand
I guess
new.
things like a new response for Bad Cop isn't going to be that big of a deal, but something like, I don't know, a new gun or a new mode on a gun or something like that is going to be
a new
thing.
chapter.
A new chapter.
Probably no.
Yeah. New chapter.
New game.
Or new, again, it'd be like new NPCs, new weapons, anything that's
character.
got a significant overhead.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And we only need it if we, if it's required. Because at the moment, I don't think new stuff like that is required. It's what we have now is perfectly fine.
We're not
at this moment.
Exactly. Like we're not like. Well, I didn't just go, I want an MP5 because I want an MP5. It was like we were looking at that serves a purpose of spicing up the sort of SMG gameplay, because otherwise you would just be using the AR2 and the SMG1 for the most of the game. And that's kind of boring because we've had those guns already. So what I'm trying to say here is everything that we do, we're making these choices deliberately. We're not just basically throwing things in for the sake of throwing them in. Everything is like calculated. So I can't see where we would put any more sort of beta content. Probably going to see less new stuff as we get towards the ends of the mod. It's just going to be sort of maps that are going to be new and gameplay. But feature-wise, it's probably going to taper off at some point.
I mean, that doesn't mean we're not going to add new stuff.
Right.
It's just at this moment we need to focus on what we have
Absolutely.
now and see where that goes.
It can be so hard to focus. Like I got totally side. I feel almost a little bit guilty for introducing the Stukabat so late into the game because I was planning on I'm going to spend a couple of days after work working on that, and then it kind of snowballed into I haven't really done anything outside of work for the past 2 weeks except for Stukabats. So it's like, oh no.
They're really cool though, but
Yeah, I'm glad I did it, but it's just like it's that kind of thing where it's very easy for us to get sidelined by
it
things.
is.
So we want to focus
Yeah.
on what like for me it's like I really need to work on that weapon, but I would like to do the chapter 2 map first because I think that's going to be more it's better to get feedback on that sooner rather than leave that sort of in plans forever.
Yeah.
So can we move on to the next question?
Sure, yeah, let's move on.
Lossy
Sorry.
Helen asks, is it possible to use music from Easy 1 or 2? I think that means, like, can people use the Entropy Zero music in
Wait a
other
minute,
things?
Are we not going to answer at one thing for at one?
I'm skipping over some questions because they're dumb.
But I thought I was ready to answer that one about reacting to the citadel being blown up and reinforcements like coming.
I liked that question. Yeah, that was up at the
because
top.
That's not what we were going to because we're going to so far Brett hasn't written out so that reinforcements could come and Bad Cop has his force and Bad Cop says send everything you've got to the advisor. And I personally always thought that we should emphasize on the fact that the Combine is in really bad condition right now and can't really help much. But this is his mind, and we're going to enhance the kinds of feelings that that's not that kind of stuff, I think, unless he just didn't think about it.
Well, I think I misinterpreted the question because I didn't think I wasn't sure if he meant at the end of episode 1. I thought he meant at the end of Half-Life 2, the Citadel being blown up. And actually, Bad Cop does react to that in the first chapter, and I think you can see it on one of the other streams. But I think that's like one of the very first things that happens in the game is Bad Cop reacts to the Citadel is destroyed. That scene is good. That sucks. Yeah,
it's really funny. He just goes there.
Citadel being blown up, right? He doesn't see that.
But there's also something in the script, which I'm just going to say is in chapter 6, which you guys have probably read, where the Citadel is kind of becomes key to something that happens in the plot.
I know what you're
and
talking about.
so he's aware of what's happening there, and yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. I'm not going to say any more before I say too much.
That's fair enough. What about being able to use Entropy Zero's music and other things?
I mean, I don't have a problem with it, but I would say check with Spencer because it's his music. For the ones that he's done, definitely check with Spencer because a lot of the music, especially with Entropy Zero 2, he's composed it for the mod. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, definitely checking with Spencer.
Yeah, checking with Spencer.
You can find him on our Discord.
Some of the music was just remixed from existing tracks in Half-Life 2. I guess that stuff is fine, but the stuff that was actually made for Entropy Zero, like from Spencer and stuff, should definitely be checked in. It should usually have the original creator on the metadata in the file, so it's usually Spencer. So.
Yeah.
Someone asks, any plans on breaking the fourth wall in the game?
I think there might already be. Is there?
Let's just give it that. Yes.
Yeah.
At least once.
Yeah, I'm sure it happens once. Yeah.
Do we
I know
on
a
that?
place where it's going to happen once, so let's just move on.
Okay, let's see if I can find another question. Nine Seed asks if the mod is still 4 chapters. No, it's longer than that.
Yes.
It's like 6 chapters right now. The last one is just going to be like 1 map or 2 for the finale.
Yeah, and it's funny actually. This mod is just, I think, just become longer than Entropy 01 in terms of its maps. We've just sort of broken that, haven't we?
It definitely has more rebel combat too.
Yeah,
Mm.
absolutely. But that was the strong point of Entropy 0, I think, was the rebel combat. So I'm glad we can focus on more of that.
B Talker asks when will you fix the achievements in Entropy 01? It's being worked on. They'll be fixed in 4.0, and that's currently what's holding the patch back.
Yeah.
The release trailer is further back in the stream if you want to watch it. We decided to show it. There's a little sneak peek reward sort of thing for waiting for so long. But yeah, all the achievement shizzle is planning to be fixed in 4.0.
Yeah, we got
Thank
some.
you so much for not blaming anyone for that.
Yeah, we got some problems with those achievements at the minute, and that's what's holding it back. So once those are fixed, we can release 4.0.
Hang on, just looking for more questions.
I see.
Okay, this is a good one. Kilo1025 asks, is Bad Cop going to interact with more things from Portal, like random cores that have been left behind, or a companion cube, Easter egg, stuff like that?
Well, we have talked about one thing. I'm sure it's safe enough to talk about this, but when we were talking about Willie being, well, I mean, I guess it could go beyond that to just Chapter 3 in general. He might be, like, Willie or Bad Cop might be able to respond to one of the turrets. That was just an idea that we rambled a while back. I don't know how much we're going to be doing that.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that, Fred, with how if Willie discovered regular train and is, like, attracted to her or something?
Yeah, I remember that conversation. Brilliant. We'll have to sneak one
Jesus.
in. Yeah.
It depends on what we have to work with and whether we have the opportunity.
Because I could see that happening in the bit where you're sneaking around. I don't worry, I won't spoil anything. When you're sneaking around, you know, with the turrets that are there.
It would be bad. That would be a bad time to say something while you're
exactly.
sneaking around.
It'd be
But yeah,
hilarious because Willie would be like, "Oh, you know,
like
what's
Willie
your
could say
name?"
something in backups like,
He's like, "Shut up, shut up." Yeah, shut up. Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that.
"Oh, wait a minute, we could do. Wait a minute, we could do the concept response stuff that I have set up for backup. You know, when backup responds to what something that Willie says.
Yeah,
we could have backup say something. We could.
Perfect.
Well, I mean, that one has a delay, and we presumably want to interrupt. So maybe we should just do it for VCDs. But we could still do it for response system.
It's pretty cool because just be like, "Shut up, be quiet," or something. I don't know.
Okay, so Roffelman asks, what were you inspired by? Other mods? If so, which ones? Or information about cancelled episodes?
What was I inspired by? What for? Hang on, let me read this. What was I inspired by? What for Entropy 01 and 2? Is that the?
I suppose so, yes, for the mod series in general.
Oh my god. Mostly other mods. There's a lot of stuff that you could probably draw parallels to some of the mods that I played when I was a kid. But mainly, the main aspect is when I was a kid, everybody else was playing all these other games, but I was playing Half-Life mods, and I did that for like 5 years straight. I didn't buy any games, I just played mods. And it was like free stories, essentially. Free games with their own stories. Some of them were in the Half-Life.
Yeah, I thought about that. Like Half-Life, playing Half-Life mods is like a really cheap way for gaming. I thought about that recently.
Yeah, it is. You know, I didn't spend a penny. I spent ages and years playing Half-Life mods, and kind of realized that it's a great platform if you want to tell a story, which is, you know, I like telling stories, and at the same time, I wanted to give back, really, because I consumed loads of mods back in the day, and I didn't pay a penny for any of them. So I want to be doing the same thing that those developers were doing back then. I want to be doing that now. So free mods for everyone, basically. I was inspired by a lot of things. Funny enough, I was going to tell you guys this. I was playing They Hunger. I always play it sort of this time of year because it reminds me of when I used to play it at Halloween. And there are some really scary similarities in They Hunger, and I don't even. It could be like these are like subconscious, like ideas. There's a machine pistol which functions exactly the same way as the MP5K and Entropy 02 functions. I mean, it is
Really?
exactly the same. You got burst
No
fire.
way.
Yeah, you got burst fire and you got full auto, right?
Gee,
That reminds me
really?
of something I was going to suggest. I was going to suggest that we make the pulse pistol like give it lower range, so it's because it's like such a powerful long range weapon already. Although one of the and I just thought about whenever you brought up the pulse pistol. Sorry.
It's right. I did snipe somebody with it earlier in the stream. The other thing in
Yeah.
They Hunger is that they've got grey
Sorry.
fluffy bull squids. And it was like, we were going to have grey fluffy bull squids, which was bizarre.
What do you mean by
Okay.
fluffy?
They've got like, if you look at the texture, they've got like fur on them. So it's like
Oh,
implied
really?
that they're grey and furry. I was like, no way. This is really
Maybe we
strange.
overthought the fur. Maybe the fur could just be part of the material.
Yeah. There was something else as well. What was it? I'm looking. I took a screenshot of it because I was like, no way. That reminds me of something. Bear with me, everybody. I'm gonna find out because this was like really weird. I was having all these little epiphanies when I was playing through these mods the other day. I was just like, what the hell? That's so random. There's a hatchet in, I think it's called Toad's Angst 2. And you guys might not remember this, or I might not have even told you this, but originally I played the idea of backup using a hatchet. Because you know in the Outland maps you can find a hatchet in a log.
Oh, yeah. I saw that little comment
And
above the
Yeah, did you see it in C44? I think I've removed
Yeah.
that dev comment now, but
Yeah, you have.
I put that there because that was one of the first ideas I had, and I had the idea that you could throw it. Well, if you play Toad's Angst, I think it's how you pronounce it. The Half-Life 1 mod, Toad's Angst 2. There is a hatchet that you can use, and you can throw it. And I was just like, holy shit. Holy shit. I can't believe it. Like, I must have, like, subconsciously been inspired by that. It's crazy. So, yeah. Old mods, very inspiring for me. Definitely. And just, like, free gameplay, basically. Here you go. I've got some in dev chat. I'm just posting some screenshots.
Ooh.
So there's your fluffy ball squid, and there's your machine gun, the MP5. So yeah, crazy. But there you go.
Okay.
There you go. That was a long-winded answer. I'm sorry.
I think he was expecting one. So Fiowski asks, will Combine Assassins come back? No.
Yeah, we won't be using assassins.
That idea that we had where that joke or something where you know where this is going, don't you, Brad?
Yeah.
You know where this is going.
I know.
We were trying to figure out how Entropy 02 would end or something, and Backups leaving like, I don't need no female companion or something
Yeah,
like
I don't need no
like Alex.
partner. That's it. I don't need a
Yeah,
partner.
no, don't need no partner. Right, sorry. No, I don't need no partner.
Yeah.
And then when a Combine Assassin just turns around the corner.
Yeah.
And stuff. It's not something that we're likely to put in.
It like zooms
yeah.
in and plays like cheesy music, and he's just like, "Holy shit!"
One thing
And
I
then
thought
he
about
talks, and
before
it's like
is
a male Combine vocoder voice.
Yeah.
it would be fun. Some like I've got a million deployment ideas, so it's not like something I've thought about very seriously. But I've thought before, if we added dual pistols as a weapon, you could make a whole map around that where you play as the Combine Assassin, and then give them different response
Flippy
lines and
parkour
everything.
abilities.
Breadman.
So
Brett, you could literally play as the assassin from your Half-Life 3 fan trailer.
yeah.
Funny story. Back in 2000 and whatever it was, I was working on a mod called Combine Assault, and that was a mod where you played as a Combine Assassin in third person, and you would like jump around and climb ladders and shoot things. So that's, it's just interesting to see when you said like parkour. We sort of had that in mind.
Hardcore parkour.
I was making like these shit maps for these guys who were working on it at the time. That would have been a good mod.
Imagine if Willie did hardcore parkour.
Oh yeah. Hardcore parkour.
Hardcore parkour for Willy is just him flopping over and going, oh!
And flapping his little wings. Oh. But yeah, yeah, you could play as the assassin from that Half-Life 3 trailer. We could figure something out. I don't know.
Anyway, I'm going to keep
Something
moving
where,
on
like,
with the
those
questions because it's
deployments-
fucking late.
I wouldn't wait around for us to make them. You know, when the game comes out, there's going to be an SDK. So anyone
Yeah.
here started on
Let's
it.
go. I move on. I need to go too pretty
Sure.
soon.
Oh,
so
yeah,
let's
sorry.
go.
So Dr. Bedlam asks, will there be an achievement for Wilson Willy similar to the Gnome Challenge in episode 2?
Yes,
Absolutely,
of course. That's definitely what we're planning.
What's going to happen to him at the end? I have no idea. I don't know how we're handling that, but
Yeah, I'm not gonna
Oh,
say.
we had an
anything.
idea, but yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
You'll
we all have
remember it
ideas
when
about it, but
stream
it's
ends.
spoilers.
yeah.
El Sleazo asks, what's your cat's name?
Oh, he's called Douglas. So there you go.
I was trying to remember what you said earlier. You said his name earlier. I was trying to remember. Was it Greg?
Not Greg, but that's a good name for a cat as well, Greg. We call him Doug, but his actual
Just
name
like
is
Cave
Douglas.
Johnson's. I guess it's Cave Johnson's cat. But when he mentions in all those recordings, isn't actually his assistant. It's just his cat. Oh my goodness! Hi, Kralik. We're almost finished. What is it?
Oh, never mind. All right, no worries. It's fine.
You okay, man?
Just
Yeah,
no, are you playing They Hunger?
I finished it. Yeah.
One up. They mentioned the white squid, the white bull
Yeah.
squid.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a
We
fun
were just-
coincidence.
Yeah.
He was
we
also
were-
pointing out the SMG is similar to our SMG that we made.
Oh, fair play. Like 2 years ago, I played They Hunger when I was doing all that mod streaming stuff on Project Borealis, but like I only played maybe the first hour of it. I got to be honest, I really didn't get on with They Hunger. I know
really?
people say a lot of things about it, but I found like it kind of like boring to be honest. But at the same time, like, excuse me, it's just kind of like at a time when like I was playing like 4 or 5 mods a week and streaming them, and it was going on for hours, and it was just I think I was just kind of burnt out with mods at that point in time, which is why I took a break, but I came back to it and I loved it.
Yeah, it's great. It's a good mod.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I think I'll give it another go because I think I've matured in my perspective of mods. For example, I used to hate Cryo Theory. Now I think it's the best thing that's ever been made, pretty much. That and NGP0 are probably my 2 favorite mods of all time.
Oh, you.
So you know, it's good.
I originally just joined this team because you guys were interested in those Antlion interactions. I originally didn't join
Yeah.
because I didn't join because I was seeking this, but I really love working with you guys.
we
It's
dragged
awesome.
you in and we kept you here.
Gucci gang.
Yep.
I'm happy to be here with everybody here. Everybody here is cool.
Me too.
Yes.
I'm really
Likewise.
Yeah.
This is a
Yeah.
great mod team. Really
Just
good.
when I thought I was out, they dragged me back in again.
And I can
There you
tell like in 2 or 3 years we'll all look back and be like, oh man, remember when we was like making Entropy 02? That was cool. That was
Yeah,
good.
now we're making Entropy 06.
Yeah, yeah.
because the day after tomorrow, an automatic source mod creator is going to come out that's going to put all of us to shame.
Yes.
So we're going to be able to pump out Entropy Zeros like no tomorrow. Easy peasy.
Yeah.
You never know
we-
though.
Design a real bull squid that lays Entropy 0 eggs. And every egg has 0 in it.
Entropy
We're
zero
most of the way
eggs.
there already.
And
Yeah,
all
there
the
you
voices are deep faked.
They just Joe Rogan is bad cop.
Yes.
You know, why not?
At first I thought it was that who said deep fake?
That was true.
Yeah.
Trivia.
Or a
It
trivia.
sounded like it was CW saying it. It sounded like he was doing it in a Willy voice.
Damn, Trivy. You got my voice down, you got me.
I'm deep faking your voice with my voice.
Wait a minute. You remember when I like trivia? I think it was like one of the bad cop lines without the vocoder. But you remember when I actually thought I was listening to something at the same time as you were lining it. It sounded just like Barney. Remember
Oh,
that? I
yeah.
wondered if you could pull
Yeah.
off a good Barney voice.
That was cool.
Anyway, yeah, we should move on now.
Yeah, the question. So his is an opportunity to give out some education, probably from One Upd because he ships programming and stuff
Yeah.
in the real world. So Robo asks, "Oh, why is the mod declared to be an alpha stage instead of beta stage?" So I guess it's explain the difference between alpha and beta stages of development.
Well,
Sure.
yeah.
It might be better for Breadman to answer that because he's sort of he declared it in alpha rather than me. But what I would say about alpha and beta is we're in alpha because the game isn't feature complete. Basically, it's like you can't play the game from start to finish. It doesn't have an end state. It's not fully playable. That's why we're in pre-alpha rather. The alpha build will be once we get a feature complete game that you can play all the way through.
Yeah.
And beta usually refers to the stage when you're getting ready to ship something. And I as a programmer, I use the term beta to describe like the code that's getting ready to go out to production. So beta is when it's like almost done. We wouldn't be like adding a new NPC or adding a new anything in a beta. A beta would be about finding bugs. So we're nowhere near beta. We're not even to alpha because we can't play the game all the way through. Is that about right?
Yeah,
Do you have a different
absolutely.
take on that?
No, that's
Yeah,
that.
that sounds
I do
that
wonder
sounds
what
about right to me.
I do wonder what differences we'll have with the beta compared to the alpha in terms of like distributing it to different kinds of people.
Yes.
Like I know we've talked about the ship. I don't know. Is it safe to talk about who we've talked about shipping the alpha build, particularly to like a group of people, particularly?
Well, it's mainly
Is it okay to talk about that?
Probably not.
Yeah, it's
Okay, yeah,
it's
never mind.
it's
I was just
mainly
wondering how that will differ in between
Donate
the alpha and the beta.
Redman's Patreon.
it's oh no, it's a press thing really.
Yeah.
For example, Robo from Lander Generation is going to be streaming Entropy 02 soon, and we've come to an agreement with him. So we've put together a kind of like an alpha thing, like a demo. It's not ready yet, but it's going to go to him. But there will be a public beta when we go beta, and it will be exactly the same as Entropy 01's beta. So players will get given random chapters to play, and
I see.
feedback that way. But yeah,
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
yeah. I can elaborate on that more when we get closer to it. But what One Up D was saying, that is pretty much it. So I consider it sort of pre-alpha now. I say it's alpha because it can't be anything else, but it's pre-alpha really because the product will be alpha when we hit the end and we can run through it. People usually ask me why isn't it beta because it's detailed, and I always say one of the ways that we can save time later on is by sort of front loading a lot of the work because we're not like a triple A. We're just this is a hobby thing, so we can do all of the work up front. And when it comes to beta, most of the beta work will be fixing rather than making things look pretty. So it sort of gives us more space to fix shit, basically. So yeah, I think One Up summed that up perfectly.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Next question.
So Roffelman asks, are you going to continue the story after the release of the mod or try to do something else? Can you make a full-fledged game on Source like Cry of Fear? I'm going to add a little note onto the end of that. I'm thinking we were discussing getting a full Source license, maybe, big maybe.
Well, no. Brett has a lot to say about that, okay?
Yes.
No on the full Source license, okay? We are keeping our work community based, and we're going to leave if we can't distribute this stuff to the community.
Yeah, so basically, everything in Entropy 02's context will not be licensed. It will be free, and that means that you'll have access to everything Entropy 02. That means we can give you the SDK. You don't have to worry about, or we don't have to worry about stepping on toes or anything like that. If we could get a Source license, I could easily see us making an actual product after Entropy 02 that we would probably build as a team and sell as a team. I could see that happening easily. But the licenses aren't just like being handed out. It's not like, if we wanted to purchase one, well, we would somehow have to make a lot of money very quickly, like a lot of money, and I don't see it happening personally.
I mean, not for like a
There-
paid thing, but like with Boreal Aleph, they managed to get hold of the source code and shit.
I can talk about this in some detail because I actually looked extensively into this.
Right.
So there was a very short space of time where I wanted to do this for another mod, and then I became very against it and argued against it on another mod. And the main reason why is because it completely turns off the ability to open source. It turns it completely from a community thing to a very closed thing.
Yeah.
And we're doing some
Yes.
really cool stuff here. On another mod I'm on, they're doing some very cool stuff. On another mod I run, we're doing some pretty cool stuff. And I think it is a tremendous loss to the community if that stuff then gets locked
Absolutely.
behind.
That's right.
And the reason
A
why
lot
we
of-
can't share that is because once you get the engine license, that's kind of like they give it out first of all on a very, very specific case by case basis, which means that it would be a very long shot even if we wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that the actual chance of getting a response from Valve on the matter, and moreover of them giving it to you, is really hard. From my knowledge, the reason why Boreal Aleph actually managed to get it was because they had kind of one of their people knows someone in Valve, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is yeah. But also, actually, the funny thing is that the European guy that distributes his source licenses is much more open to distributing licenses than the American guy. So if you're a mod,
According to
so
Brandy.
Yeah.
so if you're trying to make a mod, apparently pretend you're European is the way
Yeah,
to go.
because you're more likely to get a license.
Good thing we don't need to pretend.
I mean, exactly. There you go, rule Britannia. But there's I've got to say the Queen. But it basically, the benefits do not generally outweigh the drawbacks for a community mod like this. Now, if you're trying to do if you're trying to do some incredibly groundbreaking stuff, like you're trying to make something like Titanfall, right, where it's
Yeah.
basically not the source engine anymore, then there's only so much you can do at the surface level. But I mean, for some examples, Boreal Aleph had PBR implemented before
Yeah,
they had the license.
They did.
France has all this stuff that people have probably seen because Brandy keeps sharing it in the Discord about the screen space reflections and deferred running, and that's all without a license. You can already do like 90% of the stuff that makes a source game not really look that much like a source game anymore
Absolutely.
without the license. The last 10% is not really worth the fact that you then cannot distribute the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, the
That's
and with-
been our
with-
broad opinion on the team, as I recall.
Yeah.
with the
That's-
license,
Yeah.
with a license, as a programmer for Source myself, license, there are many things you could do, but I can't think of many things we could do for Entropy Zero in particular. Like the only
There's
thing I can
exactly
really think
one
of is
thing, and I know how to get around it. So
Yeah.
I was
yeah,
gonna
I know
say,
what you're
like, the
thinking.
only thing
Yeah.
I could really think of with we could do with the license for Entropy Zero 2 would be like, expand upon the combined sentence system, since a lot of that is locked behind the engine. But other than that, not really. I guess there's a host timescale thing, but other
yeah,
than
that was the one thing.
Yeah,
I
that's
wanted
it. Yeah.
We should.
Yeah, so like I feel like there's so many variables in this discussion that I'm not really even comfortable opening this up to a public format.
yeah, we might
There's a
want to just
lot.
move on now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I
I feel
really
like
need, I actually need to go in like 25 minutes or so.
Pandora's box has been opened. I want to open up a few thoughts about it. For one thing, like all my code on this project is for the community. It's
Yeah.
going to be published on
Mine
GitHub
too.
no matter what, in one capacity or another. So I don't think, like, for me, I couldn't code with a license agreement with Valve because I know that they make people sign an NDA, and I
Yeah.
can't sign an NDA. So for this project, that's a showstopper for me. It's not necessarily a showstopper for the game, but I think we're all pretty set on the idea that we're gonna distribute the code for Entropy Zero 2 in the.
Sorry to
Sorry.
interrupt, but we can't have deployments, and that's like a massive element of this mod. It's such a huge
Yeah.
aspect of this mod is the deployment.
I mean,
side of
we
things.
could make custom maps for it, even so, but you wouldn't be able to make custom code, I guess.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean,
I think that the
like
newer
the
source
two
games go
pistol
around
thing I
this.
talked about, that would be out of the window.
absolutely.
If
Yeah.
somebody else was trying to distribute it, like if somebody wanted to add dual pistols into the game and they were like, hey, we created this code, could you possibly merge it for the next release, and then that could work for the deployment, we wouldn't even be able to give them the code in the first place to do that with.
Yeah.
There'd be no community interaction. But yeah, basically I feel like the licensed version of the engine, getting access to the engine code and signing an agreement and everything, that's like, I'm intrigued by the idea of doing that in the future, but there's so many variables that I wouldn't even be comfortable stating an opinion on it. Like it's an intriguing idea, but you're no longer talking about a hobby project at that point. Like
Yeah.
even making engine improvements, the level of how far I'd have to go into the code and like what that would require time wise, you're no longer talking about a hobby, you're talking about business.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a whole can of worms.
Absolutely, and any time you sort of bring a license into play with this kind of thing, the sort of the end result of that is like it's money, and it's like you're either going to do that because you want to make money, or you're going to do it because you want to have access to engine features and build Titanfall 2 or whatever. But for like modders like us, the only reason why I could potentially ever want to hold a source license is so that I could make something and sell it to then further feed,
Mm-hmm.
future projects. But like you said, for Entropy 02's context, there's just no way I wouldn't do it to the project. I don't see the point. I think it's great as it is now. I don't think we need engine access, to be honest.
I do want to clarify what we mean when we say a license. We're talking about Valve gives out this license for modders or for companies to use the
Right.
source engine code. We're not talking about the Source 1 license agreement, which is part of the Source 2013 SDK that says that we can distribute our code. It's a little bit confusing because those are both
Yeah, that's a good
licenses.
point.
We're not talking about a license in like the code sense of what a license is. We're talking about a particular agreement that Valve has with certain modders to give them engine access. I feel
Yeah.
like that's important to clarify because it's just such a confusing
No,
word in this
that's
context.
it's
What
a
we
really
mean
good.
by a license.
That's absolutely. It's a really good point because there are elements of the engine that we as modders don't have access to because of sensitive code and stuff like that. Yeah. So in terms of Entropy 02, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's got to be a
No,
community
not for
project.
Entropy. It was. I remember we were having like a pipe dream of what would we make
If we
if we
had,
were to try and make something after Entropy 02,
Yeah.
and would we need a license for it, depending on how big it might be or how complicated it might be. Oh, are we going to make a multiplayer thing where it's like Siege, but it's the Combine and the Rebels and all that sort of pipe
yeah,
dreamy stuff.
yeah. So yeah, I would only if we
Or
were going to
what was the
go.
pipe dreamy stuff you just mentioned?
It's like the Entropy 02 multiplayer stuff, basically.
Oh,
Like imagine Siege, but it's Rebels and Combine or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
I don't
thought
know.
of
We were
that
just
for a
throwing
different
around
mod.
ideas.
I thought of something like that for like the Black Mesa incident where it was three teams, the HECU, and the aliens, and then there's a third like Black Mesa staff team which has to get out of there.
Oh, that sounds cool.
I had that idea years ago. I
Like
haven't thought about it in years.
SCP, but Black Mesa.
Yeah, I guess
Oh,
so.
that'd be fun.
Oh, Jesus Christ, the demon has been released.
Next
Should we
question, I
answer any
guess.
more questions?
Yeah, let's have a look. Let me have a look. We'll do one more question then. Let me find a good one then.
Okay.
It's late. I'm up late.
Ruffleman's latest question, which has two parts, might be a little bit too long to answer.
Yeah, that might
unless
be
you
too
just wanna
long,
get
so I'm gonna not do that one. Sorry, Ruffleman. Plus, a
Again,
lot
yeah,
of his
again, if you
questions
have-
have been answered.
Yeah, well, again, if you have any other, if you have any questions and you missed this part, then just you could ask more on our Discord server. We could answer questions in like general discussion or the Entropy Zero channel or even the Spoilers channel.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
We're always open to answering
channels.
questions on the Discord. Most of the time, anyway. Oh man, I can't actually find any. Unless we just do a short and simple one, which we already know the answer to because it's been answered before. But
I could scroll through ones that I haven't seen answered yet.
Okay, you know what?
I'll just asked about the fat worm. I guess that's one from chapter 4, and we're mostly just doing ambient stuff. We haven't talked about it in the background. We haven't talked about putting them all in yet. So yeah, next question.
Fine. I'll just choose this one because it's an easy answer. Wait, shit. Where's it gone? Fuck. God damn it! I hate this
I
chat
know,
system.
it's annoying, isn't it?
Is it the Gordon Freeman?
Backup will not defect to the other side.
Oh yeah.
There's a question that I want
yeah.
to answer. There's a question somewhere in there that says, when do we get Entropy 02 episode 2? Of course, it's a joke, but I want to reiterate that, once the mod is released, there will be an SDK. Everyone will have access to the code. They can see how it works. Everyone will have access to Hammer.
We did have that.
you can make any bad cop episodes that you want. All the tools will be exposed for everyone to use.
And they'll go straight into the
Could
game's
have
main
that one
menu as
idea,
well.
depending on how we end it.
You know.
Could have that one
Yeah.
idea.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just move on.
Yeah, like
We'll be replacing a deployment system for Entropy 01 at some point, probably in 5.0. So that'll be like a little teaser as to what you'll
Possibly
be able to
with
do
map-based.
for Entropy
Yeah.
02.
I mean, like my plans with Entropy 02's deployments is to like feature them and stuff like that. I don't know how we would do it yet, but you know, you would have like we could have official deployments that would go out with the build, and then you could go online and you could download other people's deployments because we've got the
Oh,
whole
stick them on the
thing-
DLC.
stick 'em on DLC. Yeah, exactly, and you could
I
have
do
like
want to.
because in the main menu you'll be able to click on deployments and it'll be like you'll have the little window with a little preview and yeah. Rather than
And who
going into
knows,
the
maybe a
console.
workshop.
Yeah. We could do that.
I answer two more of Ruffleman's questions. One is the idea with the tactical element for C44 with the cabin map. We actually thought of turning that into a deployment if it gets too hard to make, but we eventually just decided to go with it for Chapter 4. I don't know if we will be using that again in the future, possibly somewhere in Chapter 5. But yeah, it's something that mappers could do in deployments. And the other question, can we hope you add a meme achievement? For example, we saw today Trilogy Maritibo's domination. I don't know if we will add a meme achievement. There are a few memes in Cops lines like "Let me in," but maybe that's I don't know if we will have a. We could have a. I have thought of adding achievements for like obscure responses from Willie or Bad Cop though, and those aren't really memes though.
Yeah.
So
That
no,
might be
not really
kinda
any
fun.
meme.
That could be cool.
It's like achievements almost just for playing the game long enough to encounter those.
Yeah.
There's a question that I wanted to answer because somebody said, "Are there going to be more Op 4 references in Easy 2?" And that question caught my eye because maybe.
Yeah.
I'm just going to leave it at that.
Sorry, what references to what? Sorry.
Opposing
Opposing
force.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I
yeah,
see.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I know what you mean by references now. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say maybe.
There might be.
Indeed.
More. What does he know already?
What? What?
Was a question about will there be more references to opposing force? Like, what do you mean more? What reference have we made so far?
Off the top of my
In
head, I
public,
can't
in
remember.
public.
We might have done one in public. I can't remember.
When we talked about the pulse pistol charge up, did we ever compare that to the wrench charge up? That one comes to mind. There's also
Thinking about the
okay.
stun stick
Maybe
charge,
that-
actually, an easy one.
Yeah, the
Okay,
stun
then, yeah.
stick.
Yeah,
There
I didn't
was
really
in
think about that
Easy
before.
1, there's some maps that are referencing opposing force. Oh, there's a soundtrack from opposing force as well.
Oh, yeah, there is.
I know there's
And,
references scattered around.
There are some really
I
subtle
just occurred-
references that I deliberately put in. For example, Bad Cop's
something just-
dropship gets shot down, and Adrian Shepard's Osprey got shot down as well. So it's little stupid
yeah.
things like that.
Yeah. Something just occurred to me. The stun stick has a charge up, and the pulse pistol does, so we're really similar.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
I think
I
that'll
also
do
still
for
want to
questions,
make the pulse
actually.
pistol slower.
Cool.
So yeah, I agree. It is getting kind of late for me too. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
I'm gonna have to.
do we have yeah, anything else to talk about between us or anything?
I don't think so. I've got some work to do, obviously, this week on the next map. I'm just trying to get it done as quickly as possible because the sooner I can get the maps done, the sooner we're gonna reach alpha, and we're getting close now. So I'm not concerned.
Yeah. Again,
about
we have a Discord. We have a Discord server where we will answer any of our questions that you may have. Like, I'm just gonna post. It's in the description of the stream. I am gonna see if I could just copy and I'm just gonna copy and paste into the stream chat as well. So just go there if you have any more questions that you want to answer to that we are not able to answer at the moment.
Or save them until the next stream in 3 months.
3 months.
Hopefully we'll have one before that, and hopefully we'll have more to show.
I want to do a Christmas stream, and maybe
What,
that's
on Christmas?
Well, not like on Christmas, but like a stream around that time of year where we can have some fun and maybe do the Left 4 Dead stuff. that we talked about?
I'm going
Oh,
to
that sounds
be
like fun.
at home on my shitty non-gaming laptop over Christmas.
Oh no. Okay,
Are you going to have another? Well, never mind.
in which case we'll have to do that before then.
I plan on being back sometime a little after the new year, so I don't know, maybe like very, very early January we could do it.
Yeah, that's cool. I think it would be good at the end of the year to do a stream with some more content.
Yeah, unless we do it like earlier in December, so I break up on the 13th, so we could do it that weekend or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, we could probably do it then, as long as I'm at home. I've got a feeling I'm out that weekend. I'll find out. But yeah, it'd just be good to show the next bit, progress and all that shit. Anyway, I've really got to go. So,
yeah, it's fucking 11:30 nearly.
I know.
Adios, people.
I'm tired. Good night, Kralik.
Yeah, good night.
Good
everyone.
night, everybody.
I hope you feel better soon.
Party rockers in the house tonight.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. It's been great fun.
Yeah.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.